Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, April 16th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $sign ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got MLB action this Wednesday afternoon. The Seattle Mariners versus the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Let's get it. And on the thumb on the left for the Seattle Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, the Cincinnati Reds stud, Elly De La Cruz. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting third, catching today for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting sixth, playing first base for Seattle, Rowdy Tellez. Batting seventh, playing second base, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Fantastic game yesterday with 2 homers. We couldn't get the dub. We need payback tonight. Batting eighth, playing third base in his second career game. I love it. Ben Williamson. And he is a natural third baseman, and hopefully we get a lot of hits like this yesterday for Ben here today and moving forward. Let's go B-Dub. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And on the mound for the Mariners, 0-2 record, 4.50 ERA. It's been a little tough early on. He's still one of our studs. It's fucking Miller time. We're talking Bryce Miller. Let's get off the schneid and get that first dub of the year. Let's go. And now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Cincinnati Reds. Leading off for the Cincinnati Reds in center field, T.J. Friedel. Batting second, playing second base, Matt McLean. Batting third, playing shortstop, Elly De La Cruz. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Austin Hayes. Big 3-run jack that shifted the momentum in the game yesterday, and he was the reason why the Reds won that game. Batting fifth, playing third base, Gavin Lux, who had a fantastic game as well. The former Dodger, I see you. Batting sixth, DHing today, Spencer Steer. Batting seventh, playing first base, Christian Encarnacion Strand. Batting eighth, playing right field, Jake Fraley. And batting ninth, catching today for Cincinnati, Jose Trevino. And on the mound for the Reds with an 0-2 record and ERA of 6.06, Nick Martinez. So it should be a pretty evenly matched, pitching duel. Both guys right now are 0-2. Both guys have an ERA of at least 4.50 or higher. So this could end up being a little bit higher scoring of a game. Maybe we get a 5-4 game, 7-6 kind of game, unless they end up having their breakout games here today. And then it might end up being maybe, 4-2, 4-3 kind of game. But the magic number for the Seattle Mariners will always be 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we get that number, we kind of feel confident we can win in about 90% of the time. But sometimes you end up getting 4 or 5, but the other team ends up having that hot run late, and they put up 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's nothing you can do besides wait till tomorrow and try to get payback. Let's go. That man in the building, what's good? We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall if we hit the algorithm, and obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. So if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. The faster that we can get to 20, the faster we can get recommended by YouTube, and that'll get us more people in the room for possible additional likes, subs, views, and possible donos on the channel. Let's go. Nick Martinez on the mound, and leading off for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, DHing Jorge Polanco, and not having him in the lineup yesterday hurt. I think another reason that we lost. And batting third, catching today, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Much better to have you at catcher than DH. Mitch Garver can't get it done, but we know Cal can. Let's go Mariners. And after Demo ending up having 2 home runs on the leadoff spot, I'm a little confused, why we're not going with Dylan Moore again. Normally he'll be sitting around the 6-7, spot typically, but they decided to go with him as a leadoff hitter. Home run at his first at-bat. Later in the game, another home run. I believe it's the first player for the Seattle Mariners to have a multi-homer game in 2025. So let's see if Dan Wilson knows what he's doing. I don't really like Julio batting off the leadoff spot, but again, he's overly aggressive. He likes to get in 0-2 counts, and typically when that happens, that leads to a strikeout or a ground out. Hopefully, he can get on base, here starting off, and we'll see what happens here early on. Let's go, Julio. And hopefully we get to see a few bunts laid down and a lot of walks, maybe a few hit by pitches, as long as they're not injuring our guys. We just have to find ways to manufacture hits and runs. First pitch, Julio, slow dribbler. Oh, an error by Ellie De La Cruz. Could have been a routine play there. Julio safe at first, and that is not something that you're going to see very often. Ellie De La Cruz with a dribbler right at him, fumbles the bag with the mitt, drops the ball, and we'll take that all day. Thank you, Ellie. And we know you're a fantastic player. He doesn't really make a whole lot of mistakes, and he typically doesn't go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 that often. We kind of, got him in check yesterday, but so far so good here for the Mariners. Julio at first with an error by Ellie De La Cruz. Next up, Jorge Polanco. Martinez right down the middle with a strike to Jorge Polanco. 0-1 count. Let's go, Jorge. Best hitter on the team, 378 average, 3 homers, 12 ribbies, OPS over 1,000, and he peaked at over 450 earlier in the year. Let's go. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Oh, ball gets behind Jose Trevino, and Julio second. Good start so far, and obviously you're starting to see why Nick Martinez is 0-2 with an ERA of 6.06. A little shaky early on. Chili. Straight chili, or are you going to be doing like chili dogs? I feel like when you make chili, it's always good to have the buns and the dogs and the other, cheese, so that way you can, do the chili on the side, and then you can do kind of the, chili dogs as well. But, you might be just cooking up a big, crock pot of chili as well. Top of the first, 0-0. Ellie De La Cruz with an early error and a wild pitch for Julio to get to second. 0-2 pitch to Jorge Polanco. Pitches outside at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Martinez to Polo. Let's go, Polo. We need you today. And we don't even necessarily need home runs. Just a couple hits would be great. 1-2 pitch. Popped up. And that should stay in fair play. Easy routine play for Cincinnati. They're at third. 1 away. Nice catch there by Gavin Lux, the former Dodger. 1 down. Next up for the Mariners, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Now, he did have 3 home runs in 3 consecutive games with the new torpedo bat. He got skunked yesterday, but hopefully he can get back into the mix, and he doesn't have to start off batting right-handed today. He'll be batting left. So he may or may not hit a home run today, but I imagine he'll be able to get at least a hit. hopefully 2 here today. First pitch is outside, 1-0 count for Martinez, the big dumper, Cal Rolla. Let's go, Cal. Trident's up. Let's go. Pitch right down the middle. Cal pops up, and that's right to TJ Friedel. And easy routine play there, and Julio with a little fake. The third steps back to second. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. And we're definitely going to need Randy's presence here today. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, Randy. And I feel that this could be a good game for him on this Wednesday evening. Top of the first, 0-0 with 2 outs. Julio at second. First pitch to Randy, crushes it into left field. Go, go, go. All the way off the wall. Misses a homer by a foot. And Julio Rodriguez comes home. 1-0 Mariners. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Electricity right out of the gate. Trident's up. 1-0 Seattle. Hell yeah. That's exactly what we needed. And just, literally feet away, maybe a foot from missing a homer. Nice job, Randy. I love it. Let's go. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder, Luke Raley. Let's go, baby. Great start. We love that. See if we can add on a little bit more. And Luke goes down. Hey, at least we were able to get something going. And sometimes, the rally ends up ending after you get that run to go across home plate. But we'll take it. 1-0 Seattle. Let's see who's up next here for the Cincinnati Reds in the bottom of the first. On the mound for the Mariners, 0-2 record, ERA of 4.50. Just need some run support, and Bryce is getting it early. It's Miller time. Bryce Miller. And he's probably been the worst pitcher, not counting, obviously, Emerson Hancock and Luis F. Castillo, who are not normal starters. Those guys were fill-in guys for Kirby with the shoulder inflammation. But between Miller, Castillo, Gilbert, and Wu, Miller, surprisingly, is probably 4th out of those 4 guys. Even Castillo has played a little bit better than him, which is a little surprising. But hopefully he'll be able to get off the schneid. Leading off for the Reds, center fielder, TJ Friedel. Batting second baseman, Matt McClain. And batting third with the error in the first inning to get Julio on board, shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. And again, it's not like that is something that typically happens to Ellie often. He's fantastic, usually defensively, offensively, on the bases. He's fun to watch. And it definitely was a shock, but we'll take it. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're shooting for 20 likes within the first hour and a half. So that way we can hit the algorithm, 30 to 50. If we hit that algorithm, and then 100 on the donos on every single stream. Looks like we have half of y'all that have done it so far. We're at 11, now 12. 8 more to go to hit 20. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We need a strong outing out of Bryce Miller. Big facts. Now in the box, center fielder, TJ Friedel. Let's go, Bryce. Go, baby. 3 starts, 0-2 record, 4.50 ERA, 16 innings, 6 strikeouts, 13 walks, which is very uncharacteristic for Bryce Miller. First pitch for Bryce Miller, right down the seam, down the pipe with a 4-seam fastball, 0-1 count. I like that. Let's go. Bryce Miller on the mound. TJ Friedel in the box. Four seam, sinker, knuckle curve, splitter, sweeper, and glider. That one fouled off. Behind the count now 0-2 for Friedel. Let's go, Bryce. Ah, that's unfortunate, my guy. Well, hopefully you're able to go to at least a game or two at some point, during spring or summer or the fall. 0-2 pitch from Miller to Friedel. Pitch is outside with the splitter there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Fouled behind the plate. Hear that FanDuel sign. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll see if we get this knuckle curve here to smoke them here. Get the strikeout. Let's go. Mariners up 1-0 early on. Let's go, baby. Got him. There we go, baby. I like that. First punch out for Bryce Miller. That's a lot better of a walk. Great start for Bryce Miller. First K of the night. Next up, second baseman, Matt McLean. Let's go. Pitch to Matt McLean. Pitch is inside at the knees. 1-0 count with that sinker. Guardians, Yankees. That'll be great. Anytime you can end up seeing Aaron Judge, it's must-see TV. The sound of the bat when it hits the ball for either Ohtani or Judge in person is insane. It doesn't sound like anybody else in the league. And, luckily I was able to see Judge in Seattle in his record-breaking 62-homer, season. And I got a ball when I went to the game from Judge. So, it's one of those things. It's, again, you may not be a Yankee fan, right? You're a Guardian fan, but to watch greatness right there firsthand is awesome. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Miller to McLean. I'm just really hoping that I can get that Skeens ball and hopefully that he'll pitch. And hopefully I can get Skeens and Gilbert, obviously with the tickets that we got for July 4th, but we don't really know if that's going to line up or not. But, if I can have like my perfect scenario, it would be Skeens pitching to Cal Raleigh, Cal fouls it off, and then I end up getting the foul ball. That's what I'm going to be going for in the game. So, bottom of the first, 1-0 Mariners, 1 out, and nobody on. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to McLean. Pitch is high and outside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. McLean in the box. Bryce Miller on the mound. Let's go, Bryce. Three-two pitch. Second punch out. Nice sinker there. And a much better start here for Bryce Miller than in the previous, 3 or 4 starts that he's had. Nice job. Second K already. Next up for the Reds, shortstop Ellie De La Cruz, and a unusual error by a hard hit ball by Julio, and he fumbled it with the mitt, and Julio ended up being safe, stole second. Randy Rosarina missed a homer by a foot, and then brought that, obviously runner home for that RBI, and that's where we're at right now with a 1-0 lead. First pitch, upstairs and high with the 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count to Ellie De La Cruz. 224 average, 3 homers, 18 ribbies, grand salami a few days back on his bobblehead night, and we were able to contain him yesterday, but you're typically not able to contain Ellie throughout a whole series. At some point, he's going to go a little crazy, so hopefully we can limit the damage. And it really depends if he bats from the left side or the right side. Much better on the left, 268 average as a righty, 205. 1-1 pitch from Miller to Ellie De La Cruz. Pitch is outside, good eye, 2 balls and 1 strike from Miller to De La Cruz. 2-1 pitch. Popped up, fading foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to De La Cruz. Let's go, baby. Great start so far here for Miller. Probably the best start that we've had from him, considering he has 3 or 4 starts and he's 0-2 with a 4.50 ERA, and he's walked a shitload of guys early in the season. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. But I like the Mariners organization. They're not settling for shitty bullpen play. And obviously Santos got sent down. Obviously that shitty performance that he had yesterday that made us really lose the matchup, as well as Castillo being in there a little bit too long. Anytime you go into the 5th inning, got him. Strikeout looking with a 4-seam fastball. But, Dan Wilson needs to recognize, if you have a starting pitcher and they're starting to kind of lose that control, and it's the 5th inning, right? And that's typically the inning where they start to lose the control. And you walk the first 2 guys, and it's, runners at first and second with no outs. You pull them. You don't wait, for an RBI to make it 4-3 when you're up 4-2. And then that unexpected 3-run jack that happened after that by Austin Hayes. And then when that happened, the game was over. So, again, the bullpen hasn't been good. Troy Taylor is almost 100% healthy. Brash should be ready around the same time as George Kirby, around May 2nd. And once we have Taylor and Brash in the pen, with Gabe Spire, with Munoz obviously as the closer, and then we can get George Kirby back into the rotation, that's when we're really going to start cooking. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners and the top of the 2nd. Let's go, baby. Leading off for the Mariners in the top of the 2nd, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Batting second in the 7-hole with 2 homers last night. Tried to will us to the victory, but you can't win with just one fucking player. Second baseman Dylan Moore. And batting third, making his MLB debut yesterday, and we might have found our permanent third baseman moving forward, Ben Williamson. Let's go, baby. And obviously the Mariners dropped the ball by letting Eugenio Suarez go. We've seen how amazing he's been, since we let him go, and he's been able to do big things. There's not very many third basemen that can hit 30 to 40 home runs every season and be a top 10 defender, and that's what Eugenio Suarez was. But we'll see what we can get here out of Ben Williamson. Stand with Ukraine in the building. What's good, brother? Go M's. The Griffey bobble is still in effect. Let's go. Nothing lead here for Seattle. Tellez in the box. And Nick Martinez, 0-2 record with a 6.06 ERA. And maybe we can get that number to be a little bit higher. Tellez, first pitch, popped up, center field. And TJ Friedel is there, 1 away. Next up, second baseman, Dylan Moore. Let's go Demo. And Demo has been extremely hot this season. It's been probably Jorge Polanco, Dylan Moore, and I would probably say Julio Rodriguez, then Cal Raleigh. Those have been the guys, as of late that have started to kind of pick it up. Polo has been the best, but Demo has probably been second. Then Julio and Cal have been kind of getting up to their speed, so to speak, and that's good to see. Can't have this one solid player, out of your 9 hitters. It's nice to be able to have 4 or 5 guys that you can rely on more times than not. Let's go, Demo. 1-0 pitch. Oh, Demo crushes it. Down third base. Past the third baseman. All the way to the wall. Go, go, go. Yeah, baby. And that's a stand-up double from Dylan Moore. Man, he has been raking lately. Let's go, Demo. And we probably should have started him at the leadoff spot where he got 2 homers yesterday, but he's still keeping it hot in the 7th spot, and we move him in positions. He played right field yesterday, second base today. He's the ultimate utility guy. Way to go, Demo. I'm happy and proud of you. Next up, our new third baseman from AAA, the Tacoma Rainiers, Ben Williamson. And obviously he's great defensively, and he's starting to show that he can be impactful with his bat as well. Let's go. First pitch to B-Dub, inside, 1-0 count from Martinez. Let's go. Really like Ben. And again, we got a lot of guys in the farm that eventually will get called up in the next 3 to 4 years. Big swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. Felnin Celestin, Lazaro Montes, Cole Young, Colt Emerson, Harry Ford. Those are just, some of the guys. Durangelo, he can pitch from the left side and the right side. We got him in the draft. We have a lot of guys that are wheeling and dealing. Logan Evans as a pitcher as well. Let's go, baby. Pitch inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Ben Williamson. I love this kid. I think that it is really going to stick. Let's go. Then it's just figuring out what we do at first, second, and short. And Williamson crushes it opposite field. Little Oppo Taco hit there. It just fades foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Williamson. He's patient in the box. He's a great defender at third. He doesn't have a noodle arm like Polo. So we might just keep Polo at DH. I know they want to probably see him at some point at second, but popped up. And a little blooper in between the second baseman. And that is going to bring home safe. Dylan Moore with aggressive base running from second base, and Demo slides headfirst in. 2-0 Mariners. Demo, B-Dub, let's go. Hell yeah. Next up, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Next up is J.P. Crawford, another individual that has been a little bit more patient in the box. Let's go. His average sucks. It's 178. He only has 1 RBI and 0 homers, but he's been able to find ways to get walked and extend at bats, and he's really starting to kind of help the team out instead of being a liability. And obviously having Leo Rivas typically take the place, of a guy like Ryan Bliss. But now we're starting to kind of move guys around, and Demo might find a place. Let's go. Top of the second, 2-0 Mariners. Runner at first, Ben Williamson in his second career MLB game. And it's starting to feel like, he might have found a permanent home here in Seattle. Let's go. STL in the building, what's good? Cool Kid in the building, what's good? If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're shooting for 20 likes within the first hour and a half. 30 to 50 if we hit the algorithm. Ball is into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford from Nick Martinez. And obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. And we're going to be doing the tomorrow matchup at 9:40 a.m. Brian Wu on the mound. I will be doing that game. Friday, we got the Blue Jays on Apple TV+. Saturday and Sunday, the Blue Jays and the Mariners are going at it, but we're going to do WrestleMania Day 1 and Day 2 instead. And Williamson gets tagged. Damn. Wow. I don't know. I need to see a replay of that. But that was a great throw by Jose Trevino to Ellie De La Cruz, and it looks like they might. The throw really wasn't the greatest, but it looks like they might have got him right on the leg. Let's look again. Wow. Unbelievable. It was kind of a shitty throw, but it just so happens that's where Williamson's legs were, and he got him. Wow. Great defense there by Jose Trevino from the throw from home. 2 away. And 3-2 pitch to J.P. Crawford. Popped up. Fading foul. Let's go. Yeah, kind of flattering, with the whole Uncle Mo and my catchphrases and things that we come up with, original content, being in Madden, college football, and having people steal it, on TV and podcasts and whatnot. But, it's also kind of flattering, it would be cool if they would give the people credit, for being original and coming up, with nicknames and catchphrases. But unfortunately, with video games and podcasters and celebrities, it's much easier for them to steal the content and act like they made it up. But true OGs, to YouTube, and other social media, sites, as well as Twitch and whatnot for streaming, people know, where it comes from. That is big facts. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second as JP gets out. Let's see who's up here for the Reds. Next up for the Reds with a 3-run blast yesterday that gave them the victory, left fielder Austin Hayes. First game yesterday and a pretty damn good one. Batting second, the former Dodger, who had a great game yesterday as well, baseman Gavin Luck. And batting third, DHing today for the Reds, Spencer Steer. Let's go Mariners. go. We need revenge, man, and we need to get that dub, obviously, tomorrow. And in previous years, we're not normally a very good morning or early afternoon team, but I feel that's starting to change a little bit. And we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that. Not so excited about a 9:40 a.m. game, here on the West Coast, which it'll still be, obviously on the East Coast, it'll be 12:40, but, it'll be Brian Wu versus Singer. 2-0 versus 3-0, so it'll definitely be a battle, and definitely excited about WrestleMania this weekend as well. Card looks fantastic. Day 1's going to be great. Day 2's going to be great, and hopefully the Mariners can win, Game 2 and Game 3 against the Blue Jays on those days as well. I'll be definitely watching from beginning to end. Let's go, baby. Good start here for Bryce Miller already. 1 inning pitch, no hits, no earned runs, and the key is no walks, 3 Ks so far. Let's go. First pitch in there for a strike from Miller to Hayes. I like that, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Chops that one foul behind the plate. Behind in the count, 0-2. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Mariners. And again, an Ellie De La Cruz error. Randy Rosarina doubled the center. Julio ended up scoring off the Ellie error. 1-0 Mariners in the first. And Ben Williamson, straight off of AAA, fresh off AAA, the Tacoma Rainiers singled the center in their second career game. Dylan Moore scored, and we're at a 2-0 lead. I love it. But the magic number will still be 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. One-two pitch. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hayes and Miller. Judah in the building. What's good? 2-2 pitch. Little dribbler. Rice is there, and it stays fair. Wow, what a flip to first. Got him. Great defensive play. I think that would have eventually went foul, but Cal said, fuck it. I'm just going to grab it and flip it to Rowdy Tellez, and luckily Tellez had the awareness to catch that. Nice job. There we go, baby. 1 away. Next up for the Reds, the former Dodger, Gavin Lux, who had a fantastic game yesterday. Let's go, Bryce. It's Miller time, baby. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Mariners. Let's go. First pitch into Lux. 1-0 count. 4-seam fastball there. Right on the zone. One-0 pitch. Right down the seam with that slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Mariners. Nobody on with 1 out. Miller on the mound. Lux in the box. Bryce is at 24 pitches so far. Gavin, 273 average, and he's looking to expand. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Miller to Gavin Lux. Two-one pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike from Miller to Lux. Lux crushes that one all the way foul. We're winning today and tomorrow. Period. 3-2 pitch. Popped up, fading, foul. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Seattle. Nobody on with one out. 3-2 pitch from Miller to Lux. Smoke him. Sit down. 4th K. Let's go, baby. Not today, Gavin. Next up, DHing Spencer Steer. Let's go, baby. Bryce Miller, 4 Ks. Best game of the year so far for him. Let's go, baby. And that's why it's very important to be able to look at who's pitching instead of just betting. You know, you have to look at the win-loss record and the ERA and look at the lineups. And if you blindly bet, good luck. First pitch right down the middle for a strike, 0-1 count. I saw that, bro. Yeah, great week for him, especially with the birth of the child and then getting a 2-home run game. You know, just like Demo did for us yesterday, even though we weren't able to get the victory. Pitch on the corner for a strike, ahead of the count 0-2. Let's go, man. Bryce is locked in. And again, you know, between all of our pitching staff, you know, not including Emerson Hancock, who got sent down, as well as Luis F. Castillo, who got sent down, and Kirby's been injured. But even Castillo has been better than Miller. But this Miller performance, pitches outside, is starting to look like the Miller time of last year, where you could definitely see him and Wu were on the up and up. Logan Gilbert is still the best pitcher on the squad. Wu is second, obviously when Kirby's not active. But when Kirby is, normally Kirby's second, then Wu third, and then probably Miller fourth, Luis Castillo fifth. But Castillo's been a little bit better than Miller in the early part of the season. And let's see if Miller can kind of catch up to his former self. That one fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Steer. One-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got him. And you ain't winning. If Bryce Miller got fucking 5 Ks already and we're only in the second inning, good luck. Let's go, baby. I mean, of course, if we end up having some shitty bullpen, pitching, which we typically have, but hopefully we can have like Abe Spire and Troy Taylor, Andres Munoz, like our studs. Even Bizardo has been a little bit better as of late, and they sent Santos back to AAA. So as long as Bryce keeps, giving us, these heaters, he's already at 5 Ks. He's pacing for 12. I don't know where he'll end, but this will be the best start that he's had in 2025. Let's go. And we got Polo in the lineup today, which we didn't have yesterday. And again, Torpedo Bat is going to be used by Cal Raleigh, as well as Randy Arozarena. He already has a big double RBI, so I like our chances of getting payback from yesterday, as well as winning tomorrow with Brian Wu on the mound. Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a run. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, DHing Jorge Polanco. And batting third, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Mariners. Miller time, baby. 5 Ks already, and that really makes up, for all of those walks that he had in the first 3 or 4 starts, where he only had like 6 Ks and like 13 fucking walks. Like, who is that? That's not the Bryce Miller that I know. And and it was nice to be able to see Luis Castillo play well. And Bryce ended up, kind of being the 4th guy, behind Castillo and Wu and Gilbert, because obviously we're not going to count Luis F. Castillo or Emerson Hancock. Those guys are garbage. But this is great, and hopefully this will continue and give him that swag and that confidence moving forward. Let's go, baby. Julio Rodriguez in the box. First pitch. Of course, he's aggressive. Swings at it. All the way back into center field. Nice catch by TJ Friedel. 1 away. I mean, I don't know when this motherfucker is going to learn patience. Hopefully he learns at some point or another. You're hurting the team by not being patient in the box, my guy. Next up, a guy that is patient in the box, that has been a better hitter than Julio, DHing Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. Wasn't in the lineup yesterday. We lost. He's in the lineup today. Guess what? We're going to win. Top of the third, 2-0 Mariners. First pitch to Polo. Pitch is outside of the zone with a curve. 1-0 count. Let's go, Polo. Pitch. Polo connects all the way back to the wall, almost a homer. Go, 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 go. And he's sliding in safe for a double. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Jorge Polanco with a double, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. Next up, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And we're missing homers just by a couple feet. Randy, now Polo. My goodness. I love it. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Cal. See if we can get that torpedo bat to connect. Trident's up. Big swing and a miss on that first pitch from Nick Martinez. 0-1 count. Nice change up there by Nick Martinez. 0-2 record, ERA of 6.06. So even though the Mariners in the past have been a bottom 5 hitting team, you're starting to see that we're getting better, with the lineup. And it's just about figuring out who's going to be a good fit, based off veterans as well as, new guys in the farm. And Ben Williamson might be our everyday third baseman moving forward. It sure looks like it. Strike swinging behind the count now, 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Fouled off into the crowd. Count remains 0-2, about 20 rows back. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Try to get to 20 within the first hour. We got 18 minutes so we can hit that algorithm. Let's go, baby. And obviously, once the game gets close, kind of towards the end of the night, if it does, we'll get a little bit of a lift. We need 3 more to be able to get to 20. Now 2 more. That one fouled off again by Big Dumper. 2 more likes to 20. Let's get there, baby. Let's go. Top of the third, 2-0 Mariners. Mariners only 149 average with runners in scoring position. Got to be better. And Cal pops it up, throws the torpedo bat down. And that should be an easy routine out, and it is. McLean with the catch, 2 away. Next up, left fielder, 1-for-1 with an RBI double, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, baby. We need you. Let's go, Randy. Get that batting average up, baby. Trident's up. Strike right down the middle. 0-1 count with that changeup from Martinez to Arozarena. Be patient in the box. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes even the easy parlays end up screwing you. Like obviously the Dodgers are much better than the fucking Rockies, right? But I sometimes feel like, when people get a little greedy and just think a for sure thing is a for sure thing, and then all of a sudden that's the game that the Dodgers, for whatever reason, they get fucked up and they lose. Not all the time, but some of the time. One pitch from Martinez to Arozarena. Two-one pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees. 3-1 count, and this should lead to a walk because I know Randy is patient. They can still give someone a green light at 3-1 or 3-0, but you can tell what players are patient in the box, like Randy and JP and Leo Rivas, and guys that aren't, like Julio. And Julio's a guy that needs to learn that patience, or he's never going to be an all-star. And there it is, a walk. And it may not lead to anything this inning, but I just wish Julio would approach things where it doesn't have to be a home run swing every single at bat, and you don't have to swing at the first pitch. The pitchers know that you're going to swing at garbage or, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to get ahead of the count. I'm going to throw it right down the middle. They're throwing garbage on the first pitch, and Julio is still swinging. Then he fouls off the second pitch, goes 0-2, and that typically leads to an out. Next up is Luke Raley. Luke Raley swinging at the first pitch, just like Julio. Popped up, and that will probably end the inning. And it did. Brutal. Again, we have guys that can finally now hit, but our runners in scoring position, it's like as soon as we get a patient hitter, then we get a guy that's, a non-patient hitter, and then it just fucking stalls everything. Hopefully, guys like this, Luke Raley and Julio Rodriguez, will fucking learn. Let's go. Let's go to the bottom of the third inning, 2-0 Mariners. Let's see who's up next for the Reds. In the 7-hole, first baseman Christian Encarnacion Strand. Say that 3 times fast. Batting second in the 8-hole, right fielder Jake Fraley. And batting third, catcher Jose Trevino. Let's go Mariners. 5K start already for Bryce Miller. His best start so far here in 2025. Yeah. But also, too, with Barkley, you actually have to watch. You actually have to pay attention. Like, again, you can always get lucky sometimes betting in sports with baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. But the people that are really, really good, are the ones that look at everything. They look, is it grass? Is it turf? Is it home? Is it away? Is it day? Is it afternoon? Is it night? Who's playing? Who's the pitcher? Is it a lefty? Is it a righty? What's their win-loss record? What's their ERA? Who's DHing? Like, you got to look at a lot of factors, if you want to be successful. And again, if you blindly bet, every blind squirrel will get a nut at one point, but if you really want to be good at it, you have to be able to do the research, which most people are not willing to do. And that's why a lot of people end up losing a lot of bets, and for every one big bet that you win, there's going to be 10 that you don't tell your friends about that you lost, and that's kind of how it goes. Yeah, I would have, even though that Julio ended up, getting on with an Ellie De La Cruz, error. I think that, punishing Julio and putting him lower in the lineup, like putting him like 5th, or 6th would actually do us probably better. And having maybe Dylan Moore as a leadoff hitter would be better off for us. Not JP Crawford. Leave JP in the 9-hole. But, to be able to, let these guys understand, yeah, you might be a real popular player, but if you're never going to listen, and you're never going to change, you're never going to turn into that all-star Hall of Famer type of player that, we all want you to be, including yourself. Throw to first, Encarnacion Strand with a little dribbler, 1 away. But again, I don't think Julio deserves to be in the leadoff spot. And I would rather have Demo there, And if it wasn't Demo, even a guy like Leo Rivas, have a guy like that lead off. That way you have JP at the 9, Rivas at the 1, and then maybe Polo at the 2. But, I think Julio would be much better off, batting like after Randy Arozarena, like having him bat 5th. But again, Dan Wilson, he may not be the smartest guy. It seems like his decision-making isn't the greatest. He's a little bit better maybe than Scott Service, but we have been bailed out with some of his shitty decision-making. But at least they've been sending the shitty bullpen guys down to AAA as well as the starters, Luis F. Castillo and Emerson Hancock. But it sounds like Hancock will be coming back during the Blue Jay series, which I don't know if I really agree with that. I would rather go with 4 guys rather than 5. Because as soon as we have Hancock or Luis F. Castillo or anybody get called up, we're gonna lose unless we put up like 10 fucking runs, because those guys are gonna give up like 5, 6, 7. So can't wait for Taylor to pitch in the pen, Brash and Kirby to come back May 2nd, and once May 2nd hits, my birthday, things are going to be much better for the Mariners. Believe that. Railing, 0-2 count, and that is fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I don't think we need to put Luke or Julio at the bottom because we still need production. And, if we're really being honest, Demo, Williamson, Rivas, Crawford, they actually do well at the bottom of the order. So, having like Luke and, maybe at the 5 or 6 spot and Julio at like the 4 or the 5 spot would be better. But, realistically, they're probably going to have Julio batting 1 or 2 for a majority of the year, even though that may not be the best position for him. He needs to learn that you're hurting the team. 0-2 pitch to Fraley. Chopper towards first, foul. Fraley in the box. Bryce Miller on the mound. Let's go, baby. Pacing for 12 Ks. I mean, even if he can get to 10, that would be great. Like, getting 10 Ks for a pitcher now is crazy. Like, it doesn't really happen that often. Like, 8 is kind of the new 10. But if you remember, and another K, there we go. Number 6 for Bryce. He is fucking hot right now. Let's go. It's Miller time, bitch. Let's go. Bring that electricity. And again, coming into the game, that's as many as Ks as he's had in like 4 starts. I think 6. And he had like 13 fucking walks. So he's already matched, what he had up to this point. That's exactly what we fucking needed. Especially if we want to get payback for yesterday. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Mariners. First pitch to Trevino. High and outside of the zone. And it also shows you how much better we are, when we have Cal Raleigh catching. And I feel bad for the guys that have Mitch Garber, whether that be Luis Castillo or whoever it may be. But it's like whenever we have Garb catching, he sucks. He can't throw anybody out, and he can't call a game. And, again, it's not the pitcher that calls the game, it's the catcher, on the pitches to get it done. So I'm liking this combo here with Miller and Cal. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Mariners. Bryce Miller wheeling and dealing. 1-1 pitch. Right down in the zone for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slider, sinker so far there for Bryce Miller. Oh, it's fucking Miller time today, baby. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Ooh, nice hit by Trevino. All the way back to the wall. Randy, run! And that should be a stand-up double there for Jose Trevino. Nice job by Jose. It says 9-hole hitters can't get the job done. Nice job. Next up, center fielder TJ Friedel. But again, 6 Ks and 13 walks for Miller coming into this game. And he's at 6 Ks already here today for the 1 hitter. And that just happened right in front of your very eyes. Let's go, baby. Absolutely, the catcher has the hardest job, because not only do they have to be able to catch all those wild pitches, they have to keep everyone's confidence and aura and vibe up when the pitchers start to lose their confidence, as well as the bullpen guys as well. Then you need that catcher to not only hit, Cal can switch hit left and right. You need him to hit for power and to be clutch, 30 to 40 home runs, right? And the only thing that Cal really needs to improve on is the batting average. Other than that, to me, he's the best catcher in baseball. I mean, Adley Rutschman is good. Obviously you have other guys, Will Smith, JT Realmuto, Salvador Perez, even though he's kind of getting older. But again, I think the only catcher, at this point, you have a couple that might have a higher batting average, but Cal is the best power hitter, and he's the best home run hitter out of any catcher. Facts. Line drive. And Trevino's coming home, and he is out. Yes, what a throw. And obviously Jose is a little slow, and again, like Big Dumper, anytime you're at second and you're going to try to threaten a guy, from the outfield and right field, that was a fantastic throw there by Luke Raley. He said, what are you doing? You're going to throw on me? You're going to run on me? Not today. Huge. Great throw. And if it was anybody but Jose, it would be 2-1 right now. So we have to take that in consideration. Nice job. Everything looking good here for the Mariners starting off. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Still waiting for our first dono on the dono train, and we should be getting close to that 20 number for the likes. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the top of the 4th. We're winning today, and we're winning tomorrow. We got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. The game's at 9:40 a.m. I'm going to do the game. We're getting payback. We're winning the series. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1, first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. Batting second, 1-for-1 with a run, second baseman, Dylan Moore. And batting third, our new stud at third base, Ben Williamson, 1-for-1 with an RBI. He will be our starting third baseman for the rest of the year. And that's nice to be able to know that we finally brought up a farm guy, and it stuck. And think about all the other guys that we got. Bellman Celestin, right? Lazaro Montes, Cole Young, Cole Emerson, Harry Fulham. And then we got pitchers Durangelo and Logan Evans. And we got a lot of guys. I mean, we literally got like close to 10 guys in the next 3 to 4 years that will get called up and at least get a chance to show what they can do. And then at that point, once we have the right combination of farm and the regular OG vets, that's when we're really going to take on. Facts. Nick Martinez on the mound, Rowdy Tellez in the box. Let's go, baby. Well, you're not even really a Reds fan. All you did is come here because you have a parlay. So you just want to win money. You're not even a Reds fan. Facts. Not today, my guy. Just because you want to win your parlay, not happening. Should have bet on them yesterday. Especially with no Polo in the lineup yesterday and not having Cal Raleigh catch. I mean, those are the reasons. Top of the fourth, 2-0 Mariners. And anybody can win in any fucking game. Of course, it's baseball. You know, especially if our bullpen stinks, the Reds could come back and win. But it definitely feels like we're going to get payback today. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss behind the count 0-2 to Rowdy Tellez, who had a .50 batting average for the longest time. Finally hit his first home run of the season a few games back, but he's at .094. He is terrible. Shouldn't even be on the team if we're being honest. We should send him to AAA. Fouled off behind the count 0-2. That's why betting has kind of ruined sports, because you get people that aren't even fans of the teams, you know, that are on. You know, all you're trying to do is win a parlay. Big swing and miss. Down goes Rowdy Tellez. Nice pitch there by Nick Martinez. One away. Next up, our new stud at third base from the Tacoma Rainiers. He's a defensive stud, and he can hit third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go, B-Dub. I'm always real. I'll criticize our players. You know, I'll criticize our manager. There we go. Williamson with another hit. Let's go, baby. Just kidding. That was Dylan Moore. Let's go. Demo hot as ever, baby. Hell yeah. 2 home runs yesterday. Demo. He's seeing that baseball so clearly here. Next up, B-Dub, Ben Williamson. Now, but I got no problem giving kudos to the other team and the other players, you know, and criticizing our guys when they're bad, or our manager when he makes a dumbass decision, you know, or our pending shitty. But we sent Santos down, Captain, this morning. So he's in AAA, and if that was Scott Service, he would have never done that. So again, Luis F. Castillo sent down, by Emerson Hancock giving up 6 runs early, sent down. Santos sent down. Sauce sent down. You know, that wouldn't have happened, you know, obviously with Scott Service. So it shows you we're going in the right direction. You know, it's just that, you know, you got to be able to find, you know, that right timing. You know, if it's the 5th inning and you walk the first 2 guys and there's no outs, you pull the pitcher. We didn't do that yesterday. We lost. And hopefully that'll be something that someone in the stat and analytical room will point out to Dan Wilson, and next time he will make the pull. 2-0 pitch to Williamson. 3-0 count to Martinez to B-Dubs. Megan in the building. What's good? And then plus, there's a difference between being a fan for 40 years and someone doing a parlay. Not the same. And Demo going into second, safe. Let's go, baby. Yeah, Demo has just been fucking crazy. It's like Polo and Demo have been the 2 best players on the team so far. Julio's been inconsistent, but getting slightly better, as well as Cal Raleigh. Randy's starting to pick it up as well. And I like what we get out of the bottom end of the lineup with like Rivas, you know, Crawford, and now we got Williamson. That seems like he'll be our everyday third baseman more than likely. Keep grinding it out, Ben. And again, that shows you, because Miles Mastrobuoni, you know, is another guy that could play third base, but they're giving the young guy a shot, and hopefully he'll be able to keep that spot there. Let's go, B-Dubs. Top of the 4th, 2-0 Mariners. Runner at second. with 1 out. Let's go, Ben. He's 1 for 1. Slow dribbler. Ellie De La Cruz doesn't error that time. Throw to first, but he moves the guy over. Nice job, B-Dub. Love this kid. Let's go. Nice job, Ben. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Dylan Moore moves to third now. And we have an opportunity of JP. You know, I'm not sure if he would be willing to drop a bunt down. You know, again, you'd have to do it in the right position as well. Probably wouldn't do it here, especially being a lefty as well, but would love for us to be able to drop a bunt down at some point. Top of the fourth, 2-0 Mariners. Demo at third. And Martinez on the mound. First pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Four-seam fastball. 0-1 count. Go JP. Hell yeah, baby. Crawford single to right. Demo scores. 3-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Not today. Not today. Not when our pitchers are pitching. We got a top 3 pitching staff. Recognize. When Polo's in the lineup and Cal is catching. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Nobody's parlays are cashing in for the Reds today. Sorry, not today. Top of the fourth for 2 outs. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch is outside. And that's a 1-0 count. Trident's up, baby. Strike looking. Nah. Strike swinging with that changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike for Martinez to Julio. Come on, baby. We usually bring this out when we're losing or when we're tied. But we need all the good vibes. Come on, Julio. Julio fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Martinez to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up, baby. Let's go, baby. $7 holla. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. 93 to go. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. Jordan in the building. Maybe the only Red fan that's actually a Red fan that I can actually vibe with. Not someone doing a parlay, but someone that actually loves, lives, breathes, dies fucking Cincinnati Reds. What's good, my guy? How are you? I remember people. I can tell most of the time who the parlay people are and who the people are really are true fans. What's good, my guy? Nice win yesterday. Obviously, Hayes, coming up big, as well as Gavin Lux, from the Dodgers. Those guys were great for you guys yesterday, but also bad decision-making by our manager, keeping our pitcher in the 5th inning, walking the first 2 guys with no outs. That is the telltale sign to pull a guy, and if you're not, smart enough to recognize it, why are you managing? Regular OG fans can recognize it. How come the managers can't? They need to be able to have an assistant in that guy's ear. Julio grinding it out. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Martinez to Julio. And this is one of the longer at-bats Julio has had in a minute. Yeah, Jordan is the real deal because he was on the channel, in previous years. So I remember him because I would bring up photos of like Pete Rose and some of the OGs from the Big Red Machine back in the day. You boys got a good memory. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Martinez to Julio. Fouls that one off. Now, shout out to my boy Brooks Beats for all the new music that we have on the channel from his beat album called Sessions. And that one is fouled off. Yeah, even some of those old school like Topps flashback cards from like the 89, 90 Topps. I had some of those as well too. Still cool. Nick Martinez, 61 pitches, and we're only in the 4th inning. Yeah, I mean, the guy's incredible. He's really one of my good friends, and again, he hasn't really been fully on board with the full, beat making process, but again, like I told him, out of all my friends in my friend group, a little slow dribbler, force out to second, and that is the end of the top of the 4th inning for the Cincinnati Reds, but the damage was done here by JP and company. But Busta Rhymes reached out to him a couple years ago, listening to some of his stuff on SoundCloud, and I told him, if that's not a sign to keep going, that you get someone that is so famous like Busta Rhymes, praising some of your beats, you need to keep going. And out of like our old school friend group, I always thought that me and him were like the most talented, that we would be the ones that would actually make it, out of just doing regular 8 to 5, 9 to 5 jobs. And I think really the only thing that was missing for him was the work ethic that I had, but he didn't really have. But now, he doesn't party as much. He's engaged. He runs like mini marathons. He's lost 80 pounds, 90 pounds like myself. We both walk our dogs a lot. He's a lot healthier now. So I think now he's in the proper mind frame to kind of try to take this dream to the next level. And I love what he does. And he can do anything: hip hop, rap, reggae, R&B, EDM, you name it, he can do it. And we're able to use his beats here on the channel to give him some exposure, as well as to make the streams a little bit more interesting as well. Yeah, Ty France is on the Twins. He actually had a game-winning play earlier today. Next up for the Reds, second baseman, 0 for 1 with a K, Matt McLean. Batting second, shortstop, stud, Ellie De La Cruz. And batting third in his second game of the year yesterday with a 3-run jack, left fielder Austin Hayes. Let's go Mariners. Yeah, I've been doing good. How have you been doing, my guy? And I know injuries kind of hurt both of our teams early in the season. Losing Bliss and losing Victor Robles for us, not having access to Troy Taylor, Matt Brash in the pen, and not having one of our top 20 pitchers in baseball, George Kirby, available at the beginning of the year with shoulder inflammation fucking hurt. But then we had to bring up guys like Emerson Hancock and Luis F. Castillo, and both of those guys are ass, booty cheeks. They both got sent down, and we'll see what Emerson Hancock does if he gets called up during that Blue Jay series. They don't really want to go with a 4-man rotation, but if we go with a 5th guy and he's going to give up 5 to 10 runs, I don't know if we can get 5 to 10 runs to match. I hope we can, but I don't want an automatic loss when those guys pitch. But popped up by McLean into Luke Raley's glove, 1 away. Nice. I love me some Wu-Tang, old school. Gravel Pit, to this day, is still one of the best bangers from Wu-Tang. And I like, obviously Method Man, Redman, ODB, you can go through everyone and whatnot, but, I like a lot of that old school shit from like the, 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. Bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Mariners. 1 out with nobody on. Bryce Miller with his best game of the year so far. He had 6 Ks and 13 walks coming into the game. He's at 3.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, and he has 6 Ks already. Let's go. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to De La Cruz. It's good to hear. Busta, Wu-Tang, and Mace. Nice. Fouled off. 2 balls and 1 strike from Bryce Miller to Ellie De La Cruz. Bottom of the 4th, 3-0 M's. 2-1 pitch from Miller to De La Cruz. Pitches outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. And if you're just tuning in to the matchup in the bottom of the first, Randy Arozarena doubled to center after Julio got on board from an Ellie De La Cruz error. 1-0 Mariners. Top of the second, Ben Williamson, our new third baseman from the Tacoma Rainiers, AAA affiliate, singled to center. Demo scored. 2-0 Mariners. Top of the fourth, Crawford singled to right. Demo scored again. 3-0 Mariners. Pitches in there for a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ellie De La Cruz. This is either going to lead to a walk or a big base knock. Yeah, I love me some Woo as well. You know, Logan Gilbert is a top 10 pitcher and he's our best, but I was kind of hoping that Woo and Miller would kind of, you know, put the pressure on Kirby for that number 2 spot, you know, on the team. And based on how Woo pitched at the end of the year, you could even argue that Woo might actually be our second best pitcher, and then Kirby's third, and then, you know, Miller fourth, Castillo fifth. But Castillo has actually been better than Miller this year. So, and again, once Kirby comes back, hopefully he'll be healthy and not re-aggravate that shoulder inflammation. But it could be possible that Woo catches up, you know, to Gilbert, and we have 2 guys at the top. So, but our pitching staff is money, and we're not striking out as nearly as often. But the problem is now we're not striking out as much as we were as, like, you know, one of the worst, you know, hitting teams in baseball. But now we're actually starting to hit slightly better, but we're leaving runners in scoring position, and we have like the worst, you know, runners in scoring position batting average, like under 200. So, you know, slowly but surely we're getting better, but we still got a long ways to go. All right, Ellie De La Cruz with that walk. Next up, the hero from yesterday's game, left fielder in his second game today after the injury, Austin Hayes. I got to keep up with every single team in the MLB. Woo's better than Miller, 100%, bro. You know, again, Woo has the stuff. You know, like, if you actually look at numbers, his numbers, ERA and everything, you know, he was probably the best pitcher last year, if we're really being honest, but he just didn't have as many starts, you know. And then, you know, even though Logan Gilbert is like the big name, you know, but Woo is closer to Gilbert, you know, and Woo is closer to Kirby than Miller is to Woo. You know, like, Miller is closer to Castillo as being like the number 4 guy. Like, they can battle it out, who's 4 and who's 5, either Miller or Castillo. But, you know, normally, you know, it's going to be Gilbert, Woo, and Kirby are the best. And then we just hope that Miller and Castillo can, you know, be consistent and, you know, be as good as those guys. Oh, and Ellie is in no man's land and tagged out. Wow. What a blunder by Ellie. Ellie had a error early in the game with Julio, and then is in la-la land there and in between second and third, and Bryce and JP chase him down. Wow, 2 away. What a missed opportunity by the Reds. I don't know what Ellie De La Cruz was thinking there. Yeah, but, you know, Woo is, you know, that's like being disrespectful to Woo, man. Woo is much better than Miller. You got to think, Miller coming into this year, he only had 6 Ks and 13 walks. Woo isn't like that. And we're going to see Woo tomorrow at 9:40 a.m. You know, and who's got a better chance typically to get to 10 Ks? You know, it's Woo. You know, and again, hopefully Miller, you know, can, you know, continue this hot trend. You know, but again, he hasn't been very good the first 3-4 starts. This is the best game that Miller has had. So, yeah, we've been rotating different guys at third. And again, Jorge Polanco was that guy, and then he's got surgically repaired knee, and then also a hip issue. So then we moved him to DH, and then we, you know, put different guys there. You know, Demo, Miles Mastroboni. You know, we're moving a bunch of guys there, and then they decided to finally call up Ben Williamson. He's a really good defender, and he's a natural third baseman, and he also can hit. So he's going to be probably our everyday third baseman the rest of the year, which is good. So that way we don't have to keep rotating guys. Nice little base knock there by Austin Hayes, keeping his hot streak alive. Nice single there. Next up, the former Dodger, third baseman Gavin Lux. Yeah, and then if Polo does come back, they'll put him at second. Maybe his original position, but realistically, it's probably better to just leave Polo as DH because he's not a very good defender, either at second, short, or third base. And I know that, you know, paying the money, you know, for a guy, but hell, if a guy is going to be batting 350 to 450 and he doesn't even have to play defense and he can help us win, and we got guys that don't have a noodle arm that can be better, you know, because obviously Jorge Polanco's got a noodle arm. He had a hard time defending second. What made anyone think that he could throw from third to first, which is further than second to first? So I'm really happy that Ben Williamson got the call up. And I've been watching his whole career, so I already know that he's got the arm. And again, he's known for being a defender first, hitter second, but his hitting ability is like very good. Electric defender, and it seems like he's an electric hitter as well. Top of the fourth, bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Mariners. 2 outs, runner at first, 1-1 pitch, popped up, and this should be an easy out for Julio Rodriguez. There we go. We leave one stranded. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning, baby. I mean, really, we have to put Demo somewhere. So that's either, second base or first base, or if they want to put him in right field, you can put someone there. It doesn't have to be Luke Raley, because obviously they don't really think Luke is that good at first. So, and Rowdy Tellez stinks. He should be sent down to AAA, and we should bring up another guy that could help us win, out of, Feldman Celestin, Lazaro Montes, Harry Ford, Cole Young, Cole Emerson. We got pitchers Logan Evans and Durangelo that can pitch from the left and the right side. So once we start, getting rid of some of the shitty players, Rowdy Tellez and some of these guys that are not reliable, and we start filling in the gaps with our good players, we're really going to take off, And again, we got some guys on the pitching staff in AAA, High A, Single A, Double A that could actually help us in the pen also. And maybe one of those guys will emerge to be the new number 5, because at some point, right, Castillo will be replaced, and it'll be Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, right, Bryce Miller, and then at some point Castillo will get replaced, and we'll get that, that guy. But so far, Castillo has been pretty good. Right now Miller is probably, our worst pitcher out of the 4 since Kirby's been injured, and then obviously, the whole Emerson Hancock, Luis F. Castillo experiment has been a failure. We need to find that next guy, and that next guy might be Logan Evans. He's a guy that's in our farm system right now. So, yeah, and that's another category that we've improved dramatically. We're stealing more bags and moving guys over, and that's having Dan Wilson as our guy instead of Scott Service. That's facts. Yeah, Santos sucks. And again, he was a name that we brought in last year, but he can't hit the strike zone. So that was a smart decision to send his ass down. Go to the top of the 5th inning. Leading off is Jorge Polanco. Batting second, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, our stud left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Mariners. Let's go, Polo. First pitch to Jorge Polanco, dribbler towards first, stays fair, throw to first by the pitcher, 1 away. That's just bad luck there. Next up, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Use that torpedo bat, baby. Let's go. Win this game. Let's win tomorrow. Let's go, Cal Raleigh, back. See ya! Torpedo bat, strikes again. 4th homer in 5 games using the bat. Trident's up. We're winning the game. Sorry for anybody's Reds parlay. 4-0 Mariners. Let's fucking go. Trident's up. Torpedo bat is working. Way to bring that electricity, Cal. And if they would have had a right-handed pitcher yesterday, I firmly believe he would have got the homer yesterday. Now, he did face a righty, obviously in the pen, but it was too late. Fucking exploded that baseball about 15 rows back. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Big dumper. Best catcher in baseball, period. And I feel like his batting average and anything else, once those numbers start to go up, it'll be undeniable. He'll be in the All-Star game this year. And again, Logan Gilbert, Cal Raleigh. Right now, those are our 2 best players on the team, and we got a lot of other guys that are going to try to catch up to those 2. That's the core, baby. When they do the World Baseball Classic, Cal's the guy. Again, you got Adley Rutschman, who's like a name, but he doesn't produce the same type of home runs or defensively as Cal Raleigh, right? And you got guys like Will Smith and JT Realmuto, but Cal is better. And then Salvador Perez can bat 300 for the most part of his career. But again, just because you bat 300 doesn't mean you're going to hit 30 to 40 homers or be a good defensive catcher. I feel like the people that only look at batting average that's like an old school stat. It's not the only stat that matters anymore. Facts. Trident's up. Boom. Big dumper, baby. Let's go. Well, you're not a real fan, Aaron. You just have a parlay, so just for that simple fact, you won't win. Top of the fifth, 2-1 count to Randy Arozarena. That's a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 for 1 with a double walk and an RBI. At least Jordan is a real Reds fan. I can respect that. Pitch is low and into the dirt. Did he go around? No, he did not. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's go, Randy. Let's go, baby. Anyone that can get a walk, it's Randy with the patience. Wish Julio would learn that. Yeah, great division with the Padres, Giants, and Dodgers. National League is much better than the American League this year, at least early on. 3-2 pitch, pitches inside, and Randy forces a walk. Yeah, but if you got a guy that's 0-2 with a 6.06 ERA, and if the bullpen ends up struggling, what makes you think that they're going to all of a sudden come back unless we put in someone, on that same level in the pen? And a lot of the guys that we've had that are shitty that would make the Reds come back, we've already sent them down to AAA. But wishful thinking, you already won yesterday. Don't get greedy. Safe. And Jose Trevino, not the greatest throw. He ain't like Cal Raleigh. You got lucky with the one throw that was off and you ended up getting B-dub on the leg. But again, if you don't got the arm as a catcher to throw guys out, it's very clear. Go Randy, nice stolen bag, baby. Top of the fifth, 4-0 Mariners. That's what I'm talking about. Next up in the box, Luke Raley. Still looking for his first homer of the year, and when he hits it, it will be a double-decker. Let's go, Luke. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And I still think the Mariners can win 88 to 90 games and get either first or second place, a wild card, or win the division. The division is up for grabs. The Astros aren't as good as they normally are. The Rangers aren't either. A's and Angels have been dramatically improved, so everyone's going to beat each other up. But if we're looking top to bottom roster, the Mariners, to me, if you're looking at top to bottom and pitching staff, we should have a pretty good chance to be able to get first or second this year. 2-2 pitch. Raley crushes that one, foul. Yeah, I think Trevino's pretty good in the box, but arm-wise, doesn't really have the same kind of strength as Cal. And agreed. 2-2 pitch. And Raley crushes that one, foul. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And typically a guy like Luke Raley's like Jorge Polanco. Nah. More like Julio Rodriguez. Very impatient in the box. But I like how Luke hustles at everything he does. Running to first and in the outfield. See what we get here. 3-2 pitch. And that's a walk, baby. I love it. Again, but if we can end up winning this game and we win tomorrow with Brian Wu, we should have a pretty good chance to win 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays, even though it's going to be in Toronto. That game will be on Apple TV Plus on Friday. I'll call that game. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I'll be watching both of the games, but we're going to do WrestleMania Day 1 and Day 2, obviously since it's WrestleMania. Let's see if they're going to make a pitching change here. Next up, first baseman Rowdy Tellez, who more than likely will hit into a double play and end the inning. I hope that he can do something with this at-bat, but we got runners at first and second with 1 out, but Rowdy Tellez, not even batting 100, so .094, by far the worst player on the team, and we should have sent him down already. Yeah, game is at 9:40 a.m. my time, so your time it'll be 12:40, and I will stream it. I mean, I know some people will be at work, and likes and subs and donos will be a little bit harder to obtain, but yeah, I'm gonna do it. I already got the thumb already made. Let's go, baby! Woo! And Ellie, baby! Let's go! I gotta take my pup on an early walk, so. But again, I think it'll be a fun game. Now, if Wu wasn't pitching, if it was like one of the garbage guys like Luis F. Castillo or Hancock, maybe I skip it and do like something else later in the evening. But I can't miss Wu. So, and my goal, being a full-time live streamer, on YouTube, this is my 9th year. Obviously my 14th year overall streaming, 13th year streaming overall, and 9 on YouTube. Next year will be 14 and 10, but my goal is to do 150 plus out of the 162 games. And I only want to miss Mariner games if we have WrestleMania, SummerSlam, something of that nature for WWE, or maybe Talladega or Daytona for NASCAR Cup. So reflect in the building. What's good? Rowdy fouls it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you're just tuning into the broadcast, it's been a great one. Error by Ellie De La Cruz to start off the game for Julio's little line drive. Randy Rosarina with a double, 1-0 Mariners. Ben Williamson doing great things at third, offensively and defensively. Single to center. In second, Demo scored, who's hot, 2-0 Mariners. Crawford single to right. Demo scored again in the fourth, 3-0 Mariners. And big dumper Cal Raleigh with the torpedo bat, getting it done again. 4 home runs in 5 games, 4-0 Mariners. Let's go. Let's go, Adams. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Rowdy Tellez. Why is he still on the team? Send him down to AAA and bring someone else up that can play first base. Let's go. And it shows you the difference when you can get Big Dumper, starting a game and batting from the left side instead of starting the game and batting from the right side. It's all up here. And looks like they're going to have a pitching change. And we got one of our hottest hitters coming up. Second baseman today, Mr. Utility Man, Demo Dylan Moore. And again, Polo has been out of this world. Demo has been out of this world. And then now we're starting to get Julio and Cal, pretty much doing what they're supposed to do based on being, studs on the team. And again, Ben Williamson will be our everyday third baseman for the rest of the year. And even though we don't got Leo Rivas in the lineup, I don't know if Rivas can play first base. But again, there has to be an opening, for right field and first base. And again, those are kind of weak spots for us. And again, maybe Miles Mastroboni playing right field or first. I'm not sure if those guys can play that, but I would love to see Miles Mastroboni and Leo Rivas, and maybe instead of Luke Raley and Rowdy Tellez. I mean, now Luke, can sometimes play D, but he hasn't really been able to get the bat going. And I think if we're looking at guys that can maximize our potential offensively, defensively, running the bags, being smart, baseball IQ, as good as Luke Raley has a name, having Miles Mastroboni and Leo Rivas coming in for guys like Tellez and Raley could probably help us win a few more games. Just saying. Let's go, baby. Exactly. And Mastroboni, again, we got to find a spot for him, first base or right field. And then again, if they want to, I don't know if he can play first, but, learn. Again, Demo plays fucking every position. And that's why he's like the Mr. Utility guy. He's like the Taysom Hill of the fucking Saints. You can really put him anywhere and he can get the job done. And you can put him at second, you can put him at short, you can put him at third, you can put him at left, you can put him at center, you can put him in right, he can DH. I mean, there's not too many positions that Demo can't play. Obviously not catcher, and that's not one we're going to put someone like that at. But down goes Nick Martinez, and let's get this dub, baby. I mean, really the only failures are Rowdy Tellez and Donovan Solano. Those guys need to be in AAA. Send them down. Let's bring some of the other guys up. And it's funny because I sent Reflect Williamson highlights, 2-3 weeks ago of him, throwing a guy out with a laser throw from third. And I told him, I was like, this guy's coming up soon. And then lo and behold, he's here. And I don't think that we're going to send him down. And he's a natural third baseman instead of having someone like Polo that normally doesn't play that spot, or Depot there. Like, let's actually get a guy that has grown up and played that position for his life. And I love me some B-Dub, Ben Williamson. Scott Barlow on the mound now. Runners at first and second. Demo in the box, 2 for 2, and he had 2 home runs yesterday. He is the epitome of hot, 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 baby. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he made the big leagues, So, I mean, it could be worse. He could be named Grady Dick and then make the NBA, So, there's quite a few different names that you can end up having where you can get teased. But at the end of the day, Master Boney, he is the master in the MLB, baby. Pretty close with the spelling, Judah. You're missing a U in there, though. Nice catch there by Jose Trevino, showing his defensive prowess. 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. And what do I say every stream? What's our magic number? 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and we're already there, and we're halfway through the matchup. Let's go. But Solano was a bad signing, kind of like the Garver signing, but Polo panned out. But Miles Mastrobuoni, we got to find a way to get him in the lineup. Same thing with Leo Rivas. They're too good to not have in the lineup, period. Next up for the Reds, 0 for 1 with a K, DHing Spencer Steer. Batting second, 0 for 1, first baseman Christian Encarnacion Strand. Say that 5 times fast. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, right fielder Jake Fraley. Let's go Mariners. And Bryce Miller, 6 Ks, 13 walks going into this game. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. So he's already matched his production in his first 4 starts here this evening. About damn time. Nice job, Bryce. It's Miller time, baby. $5 holla. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you. And let me know what you guys want to see, if anything, Captain and Reflect. I appreciate the 2 of you. Go farm. It's funny how all of the bandwagon, Mariner fans that just gave up, when we started off the first few games, a little sluggish, gave up on the team, already wrote off the team, the fair weather fans, the bandwagon fans, the occasional watching fans, but again, for people that actually watch this team, it's not easy being a fan of a Pacific Northwest team. Sometimes it takes a while for the team to get good, right? And again, we've made some significant strides. We got Dan Wilson at manager. We've been able to, steal bags and move guys over. Really now, we're not striking out, as like the number 1 strikeout team anymore. They had a stat of the, bottom 15 guys in MLB. We have none on the bottom 15. So the only problem is now is that we're hitting more, but we have like the worst, batting average with runners in scoring position at like 169 or like 170. So once we get that up, then we're starting to maybe consistently put up 4 runs every game or almost every game with our pitching staff. We're almost unbeatable. So, that's really the magic number, Or if we get to a 4 to 5 run number, 7 to 10 hits with our pitching staff, and we get rid of all these shitty bullpen guys, and and we have guys like Bizzardo that was shitty last year, but much better this year. Set Sauce away, set Santos away. We're going to have Brash soon. Taylor's pretty much healthy. George Kirby will be back on May 2nd. Things are looking on the up and up, and I still think 88 to 90 wins, first or second place in the AL West. The Mariners are making the playoffs this year. Believe that. Hopefully we have no more significant injuries to guys like Bliss and Robles, and as well as George Kirby, currently on the shelf, but he'll be back soon. There we go. Another punch out by Bryce Miller, number 7, baby. Let's go. Way to bring that electricity, Bryce. I love it. Spencer Steer. See ya. Yeah, and no wonder we're doing so much better, right? That was one thing that we were terrible at, and we're very, very good. And even if we get caught here and there, so be it. Like Trevino had a shitty throw, and Ellie, had to go to the wide left, and he tagged Ben Williamson on the leg. It was just kind of like, he was so lucky that it was a shitty throw. And now if it was spot on, Ben would have been safe. But it is what it is. Encarnacion Strand in the box, 1-0 count. Bottom of the fifth, 4-0 Mariners. 1-0 pitch, popped up, and that should be an easy out here for Seattle. Call it. Get out of the way, Rowdy. There we go. Nice job by Demo. Don't let Rowdy get it. Nice job. Rowdy shouldn't even be out there. Next up is Jake Fraley. And again, the Angels and the A's are much improved. The Astros and Rangers are not as good as they used to be. And that's a perfect spot for the Mariners to take advantage. Facts. I love this. This makes my heart flutter. I love that. Who would have thought that? But again, that's a big part of having Edgar Martinez, Dan Wilson, and that staff there. To be able to understand what we need, as being one of the bottom hitting teams. I'll take that. 29-4, 28-6, 7 now with Ben getting caught, but we do have some stolen bags. I think we're at 30 now. If we include today's stats, we have a couple. I know Randy stole 1 or 2, so maybe Demo got one, Randy got one, so 30. I think we might be at 30-7 now. That's amazing, dude, and it really does show you how much of a difference it does make when you can have a guy at second base, and you just get a guy that gets a double, boom, 1-0 or 2-0 or whatever, because you can't really expect a guy from first to get to home. But if you can get that guy to steal that bag and get to second, or go from second to third and steal that bag, then those percentages go way, way up, even when you end up being kind of a shitty hitting team overall. Got you. Two balls and 2 strikes from Bryce to Fraley. Starting to get a little tired here, and that's why you have to be very careful, in the 5th inning. That inning right before, when they normally get taken out. Exactly. Three balls and 2 strikes. This is going to lead to a walk. 4 homers out of 5 games for the Torpedo Bat. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And there it is. Pitch is a little high and tight, and that's a walk. But luckily, we have 2 outs. Because again, we don't want to have the same situation as we had yesterday. In the 5th inning with no outs, you walk the first 2 guys, pull them. Otherwise, it's going to lead to a run, on RBI, and then maybe an unexpected big 3-run blast that Austin Hayes had yesterday, and we lost. So we got a 4-0 lead. We're in full control of this game. But again, we got to be careful here to Trevino, have this little mound visit, and I think we can get it done. First pitch by Bryce Miller to Trevino for strike looking. Great start. 0-1 count. And that's kind of the difference, when you see certain guys, like maybe Luis Castillo compared to like a Bryce Miller. Second pitch, strike looking again, right down the heater, right down the pipe. 0-2 count to Trevino. We're going to get out of this now. I like this, baby. I like this, baby. Let's go. And I don't know, I know some people can't mentally handle being a Mariner fan, but it makes the game so, worthwhile. To have to go through the highs and the lows. And when you end up getting the wins, it means so much more than just being a bandwagon fan of a team and not appreciating, the victories and just taking shit for granted. Knuckle curve, a little bit low at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Trevino. Sinker coming in. Fouls that one off, high and tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Trevino. I mean, imagine once the Mariners actually make the ALDS, ALCS, or the World Series for the first time. Even if we lose and only win 1 game and we lose in 5, 4-1, it'll be awesome. It's we're getting there. you know? Smoke him. Smoke him. 1-2 pitch from Miller to Trevino. Fouled off. Let's go, baby. 3 more likes to 20. Let's get there. I mean, obviously the losses for the Mariners can be excruciating, especially like when you have a lead and then you blow it, you know, with the pen and whatnot. But again, if Scott Service was still managing this team, you know, Sauce would still be on the roster. You know, all these guys would still be on the roster. Got him! Let's go. 8 Ks. A season high for Bryce Miller, and it's fucking Miller time, baby. Let's go. My boy. 6 Ks to start off the year, 8 today. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby. This is the Bryce that we know and love. I was like, where the hell has this Bryce been? Gotta give Bryce love. Yes, sir. End of the 5th inning. Bryce Miller with 8 Ks. What time is it? It's Miller time, baby. Let's go. I've been waiting all season for this fucking decal photo, but I haven't been able to use it because he hasn't been good. But now we finally can use it. Let's go. Finally. And I love Ben Williamson. Again, this might be, you know, one of the best decisions that the Mariners made. And sometimes injuries, you know, again, Bliss getting injured brought a chance for Leo Rivas and Mastroboni and a few others. And obviously the injury for Polo now gets a chance for a guy that can play third base, and Polo can always DH almost every day, right? Now we just got to figure out first and right field. But again, it's starting to shape up. You know, we're starting to find like the right combination. And just imagine if Bliss was the only one that got hurt and Robles was still there. Like how much better our team would be right now with Victor Robles, but it's going to give an opportunity for others to hopefully step up. So, let's go. Top of the 6th, 4-0 Mariners. D-Dubs, Ben Williamson, 1 for 2. Got a hit yesterday in his first at-bat right here. And he's a great defender, and that's really what we need. We need defense, right? And then obviously if you can hit it, that's a bonus. And he can do both. And this might end up being our best third baseman since Eugenio Suarez. I mean, he won't probably have the power like Eugenio to hit 30 to 40 home runs, but he'll get a lot of singles and doubles, and he'll throw guys out from third with that electric arm. Line drive right up the middle, almost hits the pitcher. Throw to first. Just a little bit bad luck. And I like the way that he pulls the baseball. And he's very patient in the box as well. Very rare from a guy in the farm system, you know, to be this polished, you know, this early on. I love him. D-Dubs, Ben Williamson, my guy. Stud. Next up, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. At some point, J.P. is going to get replaced. You know, we're going to have to figure out, you know, the proper second base, shortstop, first base, right field. And, you know, we just have to find the right combination of the farm and the OG vets. But I think that JP has been patient in the box. He's gotten a lot of walks. His batting average stinks, right? But again, he's been able to manufacture a way to get on base, either getting hit by a pitch, you know, or taking walks. And sometimes it's going to be more beneficial than trying to go for a moonshot at every at-bat like Julio. Line drive right up the middle. Ellie De La Cruz is there. 2 away. And we're back at the top of the order. 0 for 2 with a run. Julio Rodriguez. Actually 0 for 3 with a run. He did have a base knock, but Ellie De La Cruz, dropped it at the first at bat, and he got on with an error. So, come on, Julio. And anytime you end up having an injury, it'll give you an opportunity, for the next man up to step up. Julio takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. Fouls off the second ball like he does on every fucking at-bat. 0-2 count. And then he's going to strike out or get out here, and there it is. I mean, Julio is so fucking predictable. If us as fans can predict his at-bats, the pitchers are obviously knowing exactly what to do to get you out, and it's so frustrating. And I don't know if I'm going to get any flack for this, but I kind of wish we rather had Victor Robles on the team right now, and Julio was the one that got hurt. Now, Julio is going to get you those home runs, but game in and game out, Victor is going to give you more. Victor is more of a consistent player. Julio will give you the boom or the bust, and he'll get you a single every once in a while, and every once in a while he'll go 4 for 5 and hit a home run. But as far as consistency, even though Victor started off a little slow, I think I would rather have Victor Robles in the lineup every day than Julio, if I'm being honest. Julio has so many wasted at-bats. For all that money that we paid, it's like, I want consistency. And Julio's going to always be a big name, but fucking A, man. I'm just sick and tired of these 0-2 counts and leading to nothing. I love me some Victor Robles. But hopefully Julio, can at least play good defense, no-fly zone, run the bags, steal some bases, and, I'm hoping at some point work the count, but it seems like he only works the count like one at-bat out of 4 or 5. Brutal. Oh, God, we're bringing in Trent Thornton. Oh, God. Well, last time we brought him in, he actually did okay, but previous to that, he's been the guy that's been our worst guy in the pen. Should be sent down to AAA, and he's given up 3 home runs already in the early part of this season. Hopefully, that does not happen. So Bryce Miller's day is done with 8 Ks. Next up, center fielder, 1 for 2 with a K, TJ Friedel. Batting second baseman, Matt McClain. And batting third, shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. Hold your breath with Trent Thornton. Don't like Trent at all. Send his ass down. Bring up Logan Evans. Bring up Durangelo. I know they're not ready, but it can't get any worse than what we're already getting. Put in Bizzardo. Put in Gabe Spire. Why Trent? He stinks. But hopefully he'll pitch good. Again, last time he was up, he didn't give up a home run, but the previous 3 opportunities, he gave up home runs, and we almost lost every single time. We were able to bail him out, I think 2 out of those 3, but 1 we lost. Can't give up home runs, especially late in the matchup. Yeah. We got to deal with his contract, him signing in his rookie deal, that's for sure. Especially when you see guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and these other guys that are going to be getting $500, $600 million deals. So we definitely got him at a discount. Back then it was a lot, but now as you keep looking at more money, and I know Julio will get better. I just get sick and tired of him, being so aggressive on the first pitch because they know that they can throw garbage and he'll swing. Fouls off the second pitch 90% of the time and gets in that 0-2 count. It's frustrating. If he could just be a smarter, player and more patient in the box, he could be an easy 300 hitter and actually be an all-star every year, and maybe potentially a Hall of Fame player. Hopefully he'll learn one day. Little slow dribbler. Tellez is there, 1 away. Next up is second baseman Matt McClain. 0 for 2 with a K. Takes a strike looking with the cutter. 0-1 count. I have to be critical on guys. I think a lot of people that are fans outside, of the Mariners, they just think that we're going to, give the free pass to Julio and Cal and Logan Gilbert and all our guys just because, they're kind of like stars, But at the end of the day, we have to criticize and point out things that aren't good. We just can't give a guy a free pass when he continues to not improve, You know what I mean. And it's not like Victor Robles was batting like Polo or Dylan Moore early on. He was kind of struggling early on as well, but traditionally, Victor Robles, it seems like, is a little bit more patient. He loves to go for that first pitch strike or non-strike and, try to get on. He's almost a mirrored player of Julio, a little bit too overly aggressive, but, a little bit more consistency, in the bat most of the time out of Robles. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Thornton to McLean, and McLean singles to center. Damn it. Next up is Ellie De La Cruz. Got to get a double play here. Got to get a double play for our worst statistical, analytical, bullpen guy on the roster. Trent Thornton is at the very bottom, last. And right up the middle, no chance for Demo there or JP Crawford. Nice hit by Matt McLean. First pitch, inside, 1-0 count at the knees, 1-0 count from Thornton. 4-seam fastball. Called strike, probably should have been a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Thornton to Ellie De La Cruz. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Yeah, probably. Jesus. Oh, that's awesome. Good to have you in the room, even if it's only for a little bit. Yeah, and sometimes, just getting back to a regular schedule, when you end up having, something happen, like that, can get you back on your normal routine, and again, a lot of people that end up having depression and anxiety, if they close themselves off and they're not exercising, they're not doing their job, they're not, talking to people, then it actually kind of makes things worse, even though you think that you're grieving and you're making things better. And everyone has always deserved to have that alone time. But at some point, you got to get into a routine to kind of get you back to feeling like your normal self. And I'm glad that you decided to go back to work. Obviously, you probably need money to pay bills and everything like everyone else. But we always like having you in the room, and I'm glad you're here. Bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Mariners. Thornton on the mound. De La Cruz in the box. De La Cruz fouls that one off on that curve. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Thornton. Four-seam fastball inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He had 44 at-bats, 3 runs, 12 hits, and 3 RBIs. 273 average, which is actually one of our higher averages on the team. So we're definitely going to miss Victor. But again, he's not going to, he's not going to, change the type of way that he plays. Thornton needs to get sent down. I mean, we might get lucky here. Got him. Wow, we got incredibly lucky there. But again, he's all over the place like Santos. You got to go to AAA, my guy. Get those glasses fixed. Get some LASIK. Next up is Austin Hayes. Pitches inside. 1-0 count. I don't even know how the hell we got Ellie De La Cruz out right there. Ellie normally crushes the fuck out of that baseball. We got incredibly lucky getting Ellie out there. Insane. Sweeper. Fouls that one off. 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, Trent Thornton gave up 3 home runs, in his first 3 or 4 opportunities. The last time that he came in, he actually got out of the inning unscathed. And it looks like he might be able to get out of this inning mostly unscathed besides that single, hopefully. I don't want him to give up anything here. Four-seam fastball fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Thornton to Hayes. And Hayes did the damage against Castillo when, and obviously the rest of the squad with that 3-run jack when we should have pulled him, with the 5th inning with 2 walks with no outs. but Dan Wilson didn't, and they made us pay to go from 4-2 to 4-3 with the RBI, and then the Austin Hayes in his first game of the season, 3-run blast. And once it ended up being, 6-4, you already kind of knew the game was most likely over. Popped up foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 for 2 with a single in the 4th. This is only Austin's second game of the season with injuries, but he made a splash yesterday. He single-handedly helped the team to win yesterday with Gavin Lux and his production. 1-2 pitch, got him. Wow, Trent Thornton. First 3 or 4 opportunities you got in, you gave up home runs and almost made us lose. And the last 2 opportunities, he's looking like the Trent Thornton from last year, a little bit better. Nice job not fucking it up. There we go. That gives me a nice sigh of relief. Fuck. All right, next up, 1 for 3, DHing Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a solo dinger. Big dumper. Cal Raleigh. 4 home runs in 5 games with that new torpedo bat, baby. And batting third, a guy that's starting to heat up as well. 1 for 1 with an RBI, missed a home run by a foot. 2 base on balls, which means he's patient in the box. Who you know, pay attention. Randy Arozarena. Guidance up. Get it. Yeah, seriously. We got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. 9:40 a.m. I will be streaming.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, normally I'm not going to do streams that are on at 9, 10, or 11 a.m. But again, I did have a commitment, ever since I went full time, that's like 3-4 years ago, that if I was going to do the Mariners, that I was going to push, and I was going to try to do like 150 out of the 162 games. Give me 12 games, with either being really early in the morning, or I have like Talladega or Daytona 500 or WrestleMania like this weekend. So I do apologize to all the Blue Jay and Mariner fans. I will be doing the game on Friday, but we will be doing WrestleMania day 1 and day 2 on Saturday and Sunday, just because it's a huge event. But I will be watching with Paisley, obviously with all my full attention with the Blue Jays and Mariners on Saturday and Sunday. One 1-0 pitch from Rogers to Polo. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Jorge Polanco. Appreciate that comment. Appreciate you. And there's not very many people, no one is going to grind more than me, as far as, amount of games, unless you're like, a YouTuber of another team. Like our boy Valhalla, who does Dodgers, he'll be doing around that same kind of amount as me as well. So there's a few people out there that will grind, but not typically almost every game of the season. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rogers to Polo. Love those City Connects. Great color. Reminds me of the old school days with Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar Martinez, Harold Reynolds, Tino Martinez, Dave Valley. Polo strikes out. That's rare. 1 away. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, solo dinger with that torpedo bat. 4 homers in 5 games with it. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Trident's up. Can he do it again? But he's got a bat from the right side now.
Oh my gosh.
Pitch is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Rogers to Raleigh. Takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rogers to Raleigh. Fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes still from Rogers to Big Dumper. Top of the 7th, 4-0 Mariners. Back. See ya! Cal Raleigh does it again from the left side and the right side. Let's fucking go. Hey, Julio, you don't think the torpedo bat works? Well, I think someone thinks it does. Let's fucking go, baby. 5-0 Mariners. Woo! Woo! Way to bring that electricity, baby. Oh, my. We had 2 home runs from Demo yesterday. 2 home runs off Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Woo! Let's go, baby. We're heating up. And he crushed the fuck out of that baseball. Back. See ya! Let's go. Cal Raleigh's pacing for 40 home runs, baby, and it'll be undeniable. He will be in the All-Star game this year, either as a starter or a backup. Hopefully starter. And when the World Baseball Classic comes around, who's going to be the starting catcher? Cal Raleigh. Let's go. Get that batting average up, get those home runs up, get the singles up, and then no one can bitch and complain that he's got a batting average of 200 to 220. Hopefully it'll be like 250 to 300, and then we get those numbers up. Let's go. Let's go. Fucking love it. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Takes a strike looking on a sweeper. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Pitch inside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Randy, let's go, baby. Oh, baby, we are hot. We hot, baby. We hot. Oh, baby. Randy with a single. Next up is Luke Raley. I love it, baby. Now, I know Jordan isn't loving it because he's actually a real Reds fan. You know, he's not like a lot of these other guys coming in here with their parlays. Let's go. And you did get the win yesterday, so it's not like we're sweeping y'all. You got the dub yesterday, even though you weren't here in the stream, so more time to get a little payback. Luke Raley with the sweeper. Fouled that one off, 0-1 count. Next up, Rogers with a sinker. Takes a strike looking on the corner of that zone. Behind the count, 0-2. Pitches way outside with that sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rogers to Raley. 5-0 Mariners. You know, it'd be really crazy if Cal ended up hitting like 50 homers from the catching position, and then second place was like 25. You know, if he keeps using this goddamn torpedo bat, hell, you know, and if he doesn't slow down, he could get to 45 or 50, you know. Again, he's normally like a 30 to 35 home run guy, but if he can get hot in a month or two, he could get to 40 or 50 possibly. He'd be the number 1 home run guy on the team, and by far being the best hitting catcher in baseball, power-wise. I mean, he already has been in the first 4 years, but, you know, if you start putting up numbers like that, 40, 50 home runs, you know, maybe one day we'll have Logan Gilbert and Cal Raleigh in the Hall of Fame. Let's go. 1-2 pitch from Rogers to Raley. Another guy that's kind of been struggling as of late. Go to first, safe. Well, we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. You guys got a pretty good pitcher coming in tomorrow as well. 3-0 record, but the year of the Woo, Jordan. The year of the Woo. Could come down to a very close game. And line drive into left. Nice catch. 2 away. Randy has to tag back and go back to first. Good base running. Next up, the worst player on the Mariners, first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Strike looking. After a strike swinging, behind the count, 0-2. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. I have a feeling, like, I don't know if it'll be like 1-0, but I feel like it has a possibility of maybe being like a 3-2 game. And if it's 3-2, who's going to win? Could be you, could be us. I don't know, But I with those two pitchers pitching well, could they have like a bad game and then the hitters go crazy? It could happen, but I don't think it's going to be 5-0 for either one of us tomorrow, or even a score of what we had yesterday. I think it could be a little bit, maybe the maximum that it would be if our bullpens like stunk, that maybe the maximum it would be like 4-3. But even then, that might be a little generous, based on who's pitching tomorrow. 8-4 yesterday was the final. Now it's 5-0, but maybe 4-3, 3-2, something like that. 3-1. Hopefully we're not the team with 1, but we'll see. And we'll find out if the Mariners can wipe the crust out of their eyes and play at 9:40 a.m., which will be 12:40 you guys, but obviously here on the West Coast it'll be 9:40. So, well, we get out of the inning here, but obviously Jordan doesn't get out of it unscathed. Cal Raleigh with the second home run of the game, 1 from the left, 1 from the right. Torpedo is working. 5-0 Mariners. Let's see who's up next for the Reds to see if they can cut into this lead and stop the bleeding for Jordan. Next up, 0-2 with a K, the former Dodger third baseman Gavin Lux. Batting second, 0-2 with 2 Ks, DHing Spencer Steer. And batting third, 0-2, first baseman Christian Encarnacion Grant. Let's go, Mariners. But I will say this, if we win this game, which it looks like we're going to have a good chance, and we win tomorrow, we're going to carry that momentum over to the Blue Jay series, and we're going to win 2 out of 3 if we win today and tomorrow. Now, if we don't win tomorrow, and we end up losing this series and only winning 1, we may only win 1 game against the Blue Jays. So I feel like momentum is real, Uncle Mo is real, and again, if we can win tomorrow with Woo, we'll have a very good chance of winning that first game, and then maybe winning the 3rd game. But if we end up dropping the game to Woo, we might end up, losing the first 2 games to the Blue Jays and trying to win that last one, something like that. So again, it's very critical to try to win as many series as you can and keep that Uncle Mo and that momentum flowing. Otherwise, if you break the streak a little bit, then again, it's not like we're at home. We're going to Toronto, and we do have a pretty good, rivalry with them since we played them in the playoffs and whatnot. And it's always exciting when we play the Blue Jays, which is kind of crappy that WrestleMania ends up, on a series that I really want to do all 3 games. But again, I don't think I'll have time. On Easter, I'm going to go visit family, and I'll be right back. Right before WrestleMania starts, I'll be home around 3:30. Starts at 4. And then on Saturday, I don't know if I would be able to time it up. I don't know. If I have the energy and the time, I might try, but I guess it really depends on what happens on Friday night if we win that first game. So, Ella De La Cruz, and we got Troy Taylor making his first appearance in 2025. Don't be surprised if he's rusty, obviously here in his first appearance. And hopefully, after, a few starts in the pen, that he'll be able to feel like himself. First pitch is outside, 1-0 count, not surprising. And if he ends up walking a couple guys, don't be surprised. I mean, this is his first opportunity, after being injured and coming back and playing in 2025. And now we're just missing Brash coming off the Tommy John. And he probably will be a little shaky and rusty in his first couple starts in the beginning of May. Same thing with Kirby. He'll probably be a little rusty as well. So 3-1 count, in play, and Gavin Lux with a single. Not surprised. Nice job by Gavin. Okay, Troy, find your footing. Next up, DHing Spencer Steer. Now we need a double play here. First pitch is inside, towards the head, 1-0 count on a four-seam fastball. Come on, Troy. I know you're going to be rusty, but don't be too rusty and get them back in the game. Yeah, Tellez needs to go back to AAA. The only reason he made the team is he had a good spring training. But you know, if a guy's at below 100, yeah, we got to get rid of him. I don't know if Miles Mastroboni can play first, but that would be great to put him there. Or like a Leo Rivas, but I don't think that they can play first base. Pitch is inside again, 2-0 count. Taylor looking very rusty. But again, Taylor is a guy that throws heat. He's not a location guy, like a George Kirby. He's just going to be throwing, as hard as he can, kind of like Luis Castillo and typically like a Bryce Miller. Those are guys that are just going to throw heat, and sometimes they're going to be on, and sometimes they're not. And that's the price you have to pay if you're going to throw 97 to 100. So sometimes if you scale it back and go like 92 to 95, then maybe you'll be able to hit the zone a little bit more. But for guys that just throw the heat, that's not really in their vocabulary. So. And now we have Spencer Steer with another single. Troy Taylor not looking good early on, and back-to-back singles. And again, if we're not careful here, it's going to turn into 5-3 in a minute. And I know they want to be able to get Taylor reps, but we may have to pull him, based on what happens with this next batter. Instead of just letting him go and seeing what happens. Because I'll tell you what's going to fucking happen if you keep him in there. It's going to end up being 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, and 5-5. First pitch right down the middle for the sweeper looking, 0-1 count. Got to get an out here at some point. Fouls that one off. Behind the count now 0-2. Come on, Troy. And when Troy's healthy, he's awesome. But again, he's going to be that guy that's going to give you that heat. And sometimes he's going to be on, like Castillo and Miller and, and some of these guys. And sometimes they're going to be really off and they're going to look fucking terrible. Just like that fucking pitch. Sweeper 8 feet off the fucking plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Taylor to Christian Encarnacion Strand. Holy hell. But I guess a good time to bring him in when we're up 5-0 rather than the game being tied and he loses the game for us. Don't want him to turn into fucking Trent Thornton. Fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Troy. And no one's expecting him to get Ks. We just need outs. But good to see him. Just don't fuck up here. Bottom of the 7th, 5-0 Mariners. Troy Taylor making his first appearance of 2025 in the pen. One of the surprise guys. We thought that Santos was going to be the guy, but it ended up being Taylor. But then he had an injury, hasn't played all season until now. And hopefully we'll be able to find a way to get out of this inning unscathed. Or at least just giving up 1 run. 2 or more is unacceptable. You got guys at first and second with no outs. Got to be careful here. Taylor on the mound, Encarnacion Strand in the box. And that's in play. Fucking A. Get him out. Get him out. Encarnacion Strand, who can't really hit that often. Doubled to left. Get him out. 5-2 Mariners. Get him out. See ya. Nice knowing ya. See ya. Get out of there. I mean, now if Dan Wilson keeps him in there, it's gonna be 5-2, 5-3, 5. What did I say? I know. Next up is Jake Fraley, because especially when you get guys that normally don't hit and then they're hitting in Steer and Encarnacion Strand, you gotta pull them. Don't be stupid. And you have no outs. Next up is Jake Fraley and Jose Trevino. Pull him. Don't be a fucking moron, Dan. Pull him. Pull. I'm telling you, if we don't pull him, very good chance this turns into 5-4, 5-5 tie. And that's what Jordan wants. Motherfuck. And I get it. You want to get him an opportunity to, get his first appearance, but he clearly isn't ready. He clearly is not ready. But sometimes that's what you have to do. But, you got to make the bleeding stop. We can't bleed out. It's hard enough for us to get to 5 runs. Don't waste it. Because otherwise, if the Reds come back and win, we're going to get swept tomorrow. We probably won't win tomorrow with Wu on the mound if we lose this game. So, all right. And now Dan Wilson got my text message. Did you get it? Okay, he got it. All right. Now we're bringing in Vargas, and Vargas is kind of hit or miss. So at least he listened. When you got guys at first and second with no outs, that's that's going to lead to something bad. Well, now we know. Hey, we wanted you back. And we got you. Now we don't want you back. You need more time. You're not ready. And hopefully Vargas will give us something better than what Troy did. Kind of fucked us there. Fucking A. Vargas has a uniform issue. What the fuck is the issue? Got a jersey issue? It's a problem. They got to cut something? Oh, he has like an undershirt on. MLB and their rules, huh? Can't have the frayed edges at the bottom. Why? Like, what's that going to do? Like, is that going to give him some superpowers if you have a regular undershirt on? First pitch from Vargas to Fraley. Strike swinging on a cutter. 0-1 count. Pitch is inside on a cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike from Vargas to Fraley. Let's get out of this inning with just 2. Bottom of the 7th, 5-2 Mariners. Nice rally here by the Reds for Jordan in the room. For all the other Reds individuals that weren't fans that were just wanting a parlay, we're not going to root for those people, but hey, we can root for Jordan. Strike swinging on that cutter, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch is way outside on the corner of the strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes on that slider. It could have been strike 3 right there. What was wrong with the glove? What did they suspect? He had some sticky? Or what was the issue with it? Slider fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Strike looking. Got him! Yes! There we go. Finally, we're getting out. Down goes Jake. 1 away. Next up for the Reds, catcher Jose Trevino. Fraley stuck out looking. Vargas on the mound. Vargas is actually kind of surprised. I think that we didn't really have any expectations of him, but he's been slightly better than anticipated in And then we've had guys that have been worse than anticipated, like Santos and a few others. So in play, and a single for Trevino into right. Encarnacion Strand scores. Holy fuck, 5-3. Nice job by Jose. Now we got to be careful here. Back at the top of the order, center fielder, TJ Friedel. And like I said, if we're not careful here with this bullpen, they're going to come back and win. Fucking A. Shows you how you can dominate, with your starting pitching and be so good, and then bring in the wrong guys, in the pen, and then all of a sudden you lose. It's almost unfair, to be so good early, but takes a strike looking to TJ, 0-1 count. But it shows you how important pitching truly is. Not only starting, but having a strong pen, and not having Taylor, ready yet hurts us tremendously, as well as not having Brash yet. Should have probably went with Gabe Spire, dummies. Gabe can pitch the 7th and the 8th. Don't be stupid. Hell, even Pizzardo probably would have been better than what we had. And Pizzardo sucked last year. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Vargas to Friedel. Bottom of the 7th, 5-3 M's. Good thing we got to 5. Can you imagine if we were only at 1 or 2? Ball play. And that's a single. Holy hell. Get this guy out of here. Vargas out of here. Gabe Spire in. Out. Because I'm telling you, in another batter or two, it's going to be 5-5 or 6-5. Get these fucking dumb shit, fucking bullpen guys out of here. Holy hell. Get them out of there. Dan, are you listening, you dummy? Next up, second baseman, Matt McLean. And that's terrible when you go from one bullpen guy that stinks to another bullpen guy that stinks. First pitch to McLean, strike looking, 0-1 count. Runners on the corners with 1 out, and we need a double play. Get him out. Bring Spire in. Don't be dumb. Jordan's loving it. He's like, thank God they got a shitty pen. And finally, McLean grounds out into the double play. Woo! That's what we needed, baby. You can't get too greedy and get 5 runs in fucking 1 inning. Even getting 3 is a fucking lot after we had to get 5. So the damage is done, but you're not going to get 5 in 1 fucking inning. Thank God. There we go. Try dance up, but nice inning for your Reds. I'll give you that. You definitely fucked us up right there with Taylor and Vargas. Double play, baby. Nice job by Demo. Get to Les, and let's go to the top of the 8th. Now we need insurance. We need at least another 1 or 2 more to feel comfortable, because we're not comfortable with sitting at 5. I'll tell you that right now. And then we better have Gabe and then fucking Munoz at the end. Damn it. And speaking of studs, 2 home runs yesterday, 2 for 3 today, 2 runs. Demo, Dylan Moore. Let's go. Batting second, 1 for 3 and an RBI. Our brand new third baseman, stud, B-Dubs. Give him a sponsorship, Ben Williamson. And batting third, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. 1 for 3 with an RBI and a K. Let's fucking go. This is a little bit too close for comfort now. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. I don't know if we hit 20 yet. Hopefully we've already hit that number. Nice comeback, though. But, you know when the pitching is suspect, when you get guys like Steer and Encarnacion, and that's not saying that they're bad players, but it's like, if it was at the top of the order or some of the other guys, like if it was here, or especially here with Ellie and Hayes and Lux, okay, fine. But when your pitching stinks and then you get the guys in like the 6 and the 7 hole or the 8 hole or the 9 hole and they're ripping you, when they haven't really done a whole lot today, then hey, that guy's got to go. Let's go, Demo. 5 likes to 30. There we go. I like that. And we're at 12. 88 to go. And Demo fouls off to the catcher. Hell. 1 away. Shit. I was hoping that Demo was going to extend that at-bat for a little bit. Next up is Ben Williamson. Takes a strike looking on a 4-seam fastball. 0-1 count. With another pitcher in. Net Reds are just going through the pitchers, aren't they? How many pitchers have you guys had? I guess the same amount as us. That's our 4th. So 4-4 so far. Come on, Williamson. Come on, Ben. Four-seam fastball. Outside, but could have been called a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ben Williamson. Pitches outside with a cutter. Nice eye. 2 balls and 1 strike. Get Bob versus B-Dubs. Four-seam fastball, fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Ben Williamson. Come on, baby. That would be awesome. Pitches inside. Right down the middle. Held that one off. Ben works the, he definitely is going to work every at-bat, which I respect. And he's not a guy that's probably going to get you, 4 for 5 days or even 3 for 5 days. He's going to be more like 1 for 4 or 2 for 4. But if he plays good defense and does, 2 for 4, or 2 for 5 or 3 for 5, that's going to be good enough. To be able to be that guy at third moving forward for the rest of the year. And that's a strikeout looking. Fuck. Nice pitch there. 2 away. It's okay, Ben. I still love you. Next up, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Top of the 8th with 2 outs. 5-3, Mariner lead. Come on, J.P. Drop the bunt down. This would be a great time to do it, baby. Takes a strike looking on a changeup for 1 count. One pitch. JP, there we go. Nice hit by JP Crawford. In play, baby. Yes, sir. JP getting that confidence back. I love it. Nice job. Nice job, Crawdaddy. That's my boy. Next up, 0 for 4 with a run and a K. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Don't go 0 for 5, my guy. Don't be the embarrassment of the team. Come on now. Tight ends up. You want to be a hero? Get on base. First pitch. Outside for a ball. Wow, Julio didn't swing at garbage for the first time. Oh, and that's a wild pitch. J.P. Crawford to second. And that's when you know Julio's going to have a good at-bat if he doesn't swing at the first pitch. Most of the time. He might actually work the count to like 5 pitches before he's out. Here we go. Pass ball. Crawford to second. Whoa, pitches at the head. 2-0 count. Now, Julio can't fuck this up with a 2-0 count, can he? Right? What happens if it goes 3-0? Is he just going to start swinging like, going for moonshots? Or does he have the patience to take a walk? Or be selective? You're batting 188. You're better than this. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking. 2 balls and 1 strike for Julio Rodriguez. Don't go 0 for 5, my guy. Embarrassing. And again, he reached on an error. It was going to be a pretty much an everyday play. Pitch is low at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. Come on, Julio. Matt in the building. And there we go. Julio with a walk. Thank fucking God. You know, someone has to say it. There we go. Nice job, J-Rod. I know you would love to hit a home run or get a single, double, triple, but I'm telling you, getting these walks or hit by pitches, as long as you don't get hurt, you're really helping the team. Good job. Top of the 8th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Next up, a guy that we can trust in the box, Jorge Polanco. He's only 1 for 4 today with a K, but this is the guy that you would want up right here. And they probably will make a pitching change. Yep, we got another pitching change here for the Reds. Let's bring that electricity. Polo, let's go. Two and a half months and no hello, Orion? Come on, Matt. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Seattle. Jorge Polanco in the box with 2 outs. And let's see who's up next here for their pitching staff for the Cincinnati Reds. Yeah, I was just about to ask you, where are they going, Jordan, with your Cincinnati Reds? I'm looking, and they haven't updated anything. Who are they going with? I saw him run out, but I couldn't tell who he was. But I saw him run out of the pen. Lefty. Oh, it's Suter. All right, Suter is in. Brent. Suter versus Polo. Let's go. 4 games, 3.60 ERA in 5 innings. Let's go. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Mariners. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Oh, they have Garver in now? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Garver? What is Dan Wilson doing? Is this Scott Service all over again? Holy shit. What the fuck? He's done this more than once. What are you doing? And this is this is the type of strategy that because he's a lefty, they're going to go with a right because, Polo may not feel comfortable batting from the right side. Get the fuck out of here. You're fucking kidding me? It's better work. Highly likely it will. You got to be fucking shitting me. What a wasted opportunity right there. Dan Wilson, what are you smoking? Holy shit. What a wasted fucking inning there. Could have actually got maybe one more run with an RBI out of Polo. And if Polo strikes out, pops up, grounds out, who cares? It's Polo. Jesus. Stupid strategy. I don't think that, any lefty, righty. Tell me when the last time that's worked. We're just going to bring in a guy that's one of our shittiest hitters just because he's a righty rather than a guy that, obviously is our best hitter. That kind of strategy does not work. I mean, I don't know how many times it has to not work for coaches and managers to realize, hey, maybe we should just do lefty on lefty or have a different player come in. Why not Miles Mastrobuoni? Why not Leo Rivas? Barber? Holy hell. Oh, well, at least we have a 5-3 lead. Jesus. mean, Garver's like the last guy that you would want to have come in there. Jesus. Like the equivalent of bringing in Rowdy Tellez to pinch hit for someone. Why are you having someone pinch hit when they can't hit? Okay, that makes sense. But I know that they're doing it. Lefty, righty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. It's stupid. 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. Shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. Batting second, left fielder, 3-run jack yesterday to help them win, Austin Hayes. And batting third, the former Dodger, third baseman, Gavin Lux. Let's go Mariners. I know what we need, and it ain't fucking this. Sorry, Britt. This is what we need. Oh, and guess who's in the game? Our boy, Gabe Spire. The best guy in the pen, baby. Pat McAfee lookalike. Let's get it done. Let's go, Gabe, my boy, my favorite in the pen. All about consistency, baby. Ellie right down the middle. And off Demo off a deflection. And that's not really on, Dylan Moore or really on Gabe. I mean, Ellie is going to be Ellie. Nice single there. And he hit it so hard, there was no play at third or for Ben Williamson. Next up, we got to get a double play here. Left fielder, Austin Hayes. Let's get the double play here. But no one was making that play. I came in too hot. Grinding, like I am every day, brother. Grinding. Every day, 7 days a week. Whether it be baseball, and then obviously, we had some NASCAR sprinkled in a few weeks back, and WrestleMania this weekend, day 1 and day 2. NFL draft coming up. Pat McAfee's cousin, bro. Let's go, Gabe. Hayes behind in the count, 0-2. I like that, baby. How have things been in Hawaii? How's the weather been? Have you been working out? Have you been eating good? Have you been exercising? What's new in Matt Payton's life in Hawaii? You getting ready for the draft to see where Oregon Duck players are going? A little Dante Moore, Decorian Moore action at quarterback and wide receiver. We're going to be better this year than last year. Let's go, Gabe. Bottom of the 8th. Runner at first, no outs. 0-2 count from Spire to Hayes. Let's go, Gabe. My boy. 0-2 pitch. Got him. Go! Safe at second. Fuck! What are they calling? Interference? Ellie on interference. And a strikeout. 2 outs. Woo! Let's go! What a crazy play right there. Now the Reds manager and Jordan, all the Red people that had the parlay going, and but you had the strikeout there by Hayes, and then they called interference. Ana, buenos dias, buenos tardes, buenos noches, vamos Maneros. WrestleMania is going to be amazing. Day 1 and day 2. You got nothing going on, come through and watch with us. It's going to be fun. Hayes struck out swinging. De La Cruz out at second. That's just unfortunate, obviously, for Jordan. A real Red fan. Not really for all those other guys doing the parlay, though. Santiago Espinal coming in to pinch hit. Espinal popped up. Should be a routine play off one pitch. Julio's there. No fly zone. And that is the end of the 8th inning. I like that. Jordan doesn't, but we do. Nice job, Gabe. Pat McAfee lookalike, baby. 5-3 Mariners. Let's go to the top of the 9th. And then obviously I didn't get a chance to throw up the Santiago Espinal photo, but we'll add that to the queue. And that's what happens when you actually bring in a guy from the pen that's fucking good. He gets the job done. Let's go, baby. Top of the 9th. We need to add some insurance. Let's try to get one more run if we can. Next up, big dumper, 2 for 4, a home run from the left, a home run from the right. Can he hit 3 homers in a game? Wouldn't shock me. Torpedo bat engaged. He's like Thanos out there. Let's go. Batting second, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, unless they have someone pinch hit, right fielder, Luke Raley. Let's go, Mariners. Let's go, big dumper. Dump. Let's go. Let's go. We got this, baby. Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow, 9:40 a.m. I'll be streaming the game. I'll have to wake up super early, take Paisley on a long, long walk, have a nice big bowl of cereal with some strawberries and blueberries in it, and, you know, I'll be ready to go in the morning. First pitch, strike looking to Cal Raleigh from Suter, keeping him in from the previous inning. Smart decision. 0-1 count. Pitch is low and at the knees with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike from Suter to big dumper. Yeah, I'm glad too. You know, again, I don't, you know, it's for any fan, you know, you'll love a shutout, but as far as like engaging with people and, you know, having it be a little bit closer, and Raleigh lines out to center, 1 away. But let's be real, right? If you can get a win 5-0 for your Reds against the Mariners, you're going to take it. Just like we would take it on our end here. But, you know, if we're watching the game together, then it's kind of nice to be able to have each team do a little, you know? So it's not like one team just getting the shit, you know, kicked out of them the whole fucking game while you're watching the game with the other person. So. One away. Shooter next up to Randy Arozarena. First pitch, change up at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging, 1 ball and 1 strike on that changeup. Four-seam fastball fouled off, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shooter ahead of the count of Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. He's been seeing the baseball a little bit better as of late as well. After the Victor Robles injury, seems like he's been able to kind of step his game up quite a bit. 4 to first. Batting helmet comes off. Frosted tips. Blowing on the top. Got him. 2 away. Randy Arozarena looks like an anime character with that hair. I love it. Next up, is it Luke Raley? Or are we going to do some weird substitution? I mean, Miles Mastrobuoni, I wouldn't mind seeing him get an at-bat if you're going to give Mitch Garver a fucking at-bat. But no, they're going to keep going with Luke Raley. 0 for 3 with a base on ball and a K. Why not Miles Mastrobuoni? I know it's based off position too, so I get it. But first pitch low at the knees. And all the way back to the wall, warning track, and caught. Good defense there. Nice inning there for the Reds, and they're getting to the end of the routine here. 5 runs, 10 hits for the Mariners. 3 runs, 10 hits for the Reds, but they had the error with Ellie De La Cruz. And let's see who's up here to give them that last fighting chance to try to tie this up. All right, last opportunity for the Cincinnati Reds and Jordan. 1 for 3 with a run and 2 Ks, DHing Spencer Steer. And this is where things got cooking with Troy Taylor hooking it all up for the Mariners. And then as well as Vargas as well. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs, Christian Encarnacion Strand. Say that 5 times fast. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks, right fielder Jake Fraley. Let's go Mariners. It'll be the earliest stream that we do here on the channel in 2025, 9:40 a.m. Holy hell. And one of the best pitchers, Brady Singer, 3-0, 3.18 ERA, and 18 fucking Ks. Okay? Going against Brian Wu, 2-0, 2.84 ERA. And Brian Wu's got 18 Ks as well. It's going to be a hell of a matchup tomorrow. And I already got the thumb made. Let's go. Year of the Woo, baby. And I had to put Ellie on there over Singer. You know, Ellie deserves to be on all the thumbs for the Reds. Breakfast ball, baby. I got to check up on my pup. Those Reds fans are getting down on the big screen. They're dancing. All right, Andres Munoz to kind of shut this shit down, so to speak. Nice job by Gabe. Mariner Moose is out. And you know what time it is. Andres Munoz time, baby. Hasn't given up a run. ERA is 0.00. Is that good? Someone let me know. Is that good? First pitch in there for a strike. Sinker, 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Opponents are 1 for 15 with 10 Ks. Is that good? Let me know. Way to bring that electricity, baby. Strike swinging on a 4-seam fastball, high and away. In the zone, though, behind the count 0-2. Mariners 5, Reds 3. You guys won yesterday. Time for our turn. Our turn, baby. And then tomorrow it'll go either way, 50-50 ball. You know, especially with the pitching matchup. It'll be lower scoring affair as well. But whoever wins is going to earn it. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. Slider, way out of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Munoz to Steer. Stormbum in the building. What's good? Steer pops up. And is that going to be Cal Raleigh? Can you get it? And just out of play. Damn it. And again, we don't want Cal going into the cameraman and having a Victor Robles, injury again. A good decision by Cal to just let that go foul. I mean, I love the effort out of Victor Robles going all out, but it definitely cost him 3 months. Maybe even possibly more. We might not even get him. If he doesn't heal correctly, he might be out for the year. Hopefully he'll be back, in late summer. Right when we're on our playoff push, baby, around August. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is low and out of the zone with a sinker. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Munoz to Steer. Spencer Steer in the box. Andres Munoz on the mound. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. Steer not baited by that. And now count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch fouled off on a 4-seam fastball. Count remains full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Munoz. He's hitting home runs at a better pace than he was last year, but he's still kind of doing the same dumb shit that he was doing before. And Steer grounds out to first. Nice by Munoz with the toe tap at first. One away. But again, like Reflect said, he typically gets better as the year goes on and the weather gets warmer. But again, very predictable in the box. Ends up swinging at garbage at the first pitch, fouls off the second pitch, and then usually strikes out on the third pitch or grounds out. And that's kind of been the story with Julio. But at least Cal is using the torpedo bat. Polo's been great. Demo's been great. We've had a couple injuries. They're Bliss and Robles, but, so far, so good. This team is better than we were last year, for sure. Next up is Christian Encarnacion Strand, and we have a mound visit with Cal and Munoz. Let's go. Mariner Moose, Trident's up. No, Julio isn't using the torpedo back. He refuses, and maybe that's his problem. Cal is using it, to my knowledge, and Randy Arozarena is using it, but I have no knowledge of anyone else is confirmed using it at every at bat. And even with Randy, it may not be every at bat, but I know Cal's using it every time, and he's hit 5 home runs in 5 home runs in five different days. He went 3 days, 3 home runs, and then he didn't get it, yesterday, and then he had 2 today. So 5 home runs in 5 games. I would say that it's working. He's pacing for 50 home runs. Big swing and a miss, as you see Paisley Pop in the background. Walk through. Lauren in the building. What's good? Excited for the Blue Jay Mariner series this weekend, but we got WrestleMania day 1 and day 2, so we're only going to be able to do the Apple TV Plus game. Pitch is low and at the knees. 1 ball, 2 balls and 1 strike to Munoz and Encarnacion Strand. Popped up, fading foul. 2 balls. Paisley's in here, missing dad. Julio's thing isn't really he needs a torpedo bat. He just needs to be more in the box. And so that way he doesn't get into an 0-2 count 90% of the time. And if he can switch out the count, he'll be better. That one crushed foul by Encarnacion Strand. So when's the last time you've seen Julio in a 3-0 count or him work the count in 8 to 10 pitches? It's not very often. But I would love for Julio to use it. But maybe with Cal hitting all these home runs, that maybe these other guys will take notice. Encarnacion Strand fouls it off again. 4-seam fastball after a sinker. Munoz trying to throw that heat. We're definitely excited about WrestleMania this weekend. It's going to be awesome. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Popped up. And Encarnacion Strand popped out to the shortstop. J.P. Crawford, 2 away. And don't be surprised if Seth Rollins lines himself with Paul Heyman instead of it being CM Punk, or if Seth Rollins lines himself with The Rock, right? And they end up having the whole Travis Scott, The Rock, and that whole little John Cena thing. Seth Rollins could be that guy. Just saying. It's going to be exciting to see how it all plays out. Next up is Jake Fraley. There's a couple different angles that they could go with. CM Punk could be lined up with Paul Heyman as the new manager. Seth Rollins could be lined up with Paul Heyman as the new manager. Or it could just be Seth Rollins joining The Rock, Travis Scott, and, going down that path as going for the super heel against Cody Rhodes. It'd be very exciting. And Seth is due for kind of a heel turn anyways. He can be cheered face or heel. Like CM Punk, ends up avoiding the spear. Roman spears Seth, right? And then CM Punk wins, and then Seth joins with The Rock. John Cena, Travis Scott, The Rock, Seth Rollins. That would be kind of dope. Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, 5-3 lead. Munoz on the mound, Fraley in the box. Dribbler, right there. JP, throw to first, got him! And that's the game, baby! Final score, Seattle Mariners 5, Cincinnati Reds 3. We get payback from that debacle in the pen yesterday. Nice job by Gabe. Nice job by Munoz. Not a great job by Troy Taylor or Vargas. But one thing is for sure, when the Mariners win, what the fuck do we do? What do we do? You know what we do. We dance, baby. Mariners win! Mariners win! Mariners win! And we will be live tomorrow at 9:40 a.m. Got the thumb already made because I already knew it was going to be an early game. Brian Wu on the mound. I can't wait. So if you can join your boy, come through. 9:40 a.m. start tomorrow, and we're going to try to win the series. And then again, we got a 3-game set in Toronto against the Toronto Blue Jays. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's go. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Big win for Munoz and Bryce Miller getting his first win of the year. Nick Martinez with the loss. And again, I'll be live tomorrow at 9:40 a.m. And if you guys can come through, that would be great. And I got one question for you. Oh, Jordan with a late dono here. GG. Hey, do you want any photos here? I'll stay on for a few minutes. You know, since you ended up throwing the dono here at the end. What do you want, man? You want Pete Rose? You know, you want Big Red Machine? You want Ken Griffey? You know, where do you want to go? I'll stay on here. I was going to dip because I didn't think anyone was going to drop a dono at the end, but I appreciate that very, very much. You got the dub yesterday, and you're not a parlay, guy. You are a true Reds fan. Respect, and I'm always going to get along with those type of people rather than just I'm here for the parlay and that's it. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. GG, good game. What do you want to do for photos, my guy? You want anything specific? Let me know. If you don't want any photos, I don't have to, but I'm going to throw up at least a couple. I have to. I'm going to do right now real quick. We got minutes. We got some minutes. I got to throw up at least a Pete Rose or a Big Red Machine. And if you're going to be around tomorrow, that would be awesome. I would love to be able to watch the game with a true Reds fan, win, lose, and I guess there is no draw. It is baseball. And I want to show my appreciation. Get a couple Big Red Machines up here. Thank you so much for your support. I'm gonna delete a couple of these other photos. Says, oh dog, you got too many photos. It only allows me to carry 100, and then I gotta delete some and make some more room. See if I get one more for you, maybe an action shot or something. Appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much for the love and the support. And again, I will be live tomorrow, 9:40 a.m., wiping the crust out of my eyes, waking up early, taking Paisley for a long 45-minute walk, eating a bowl of cereal, and getting ready to go. Breakfast with your boy in the morning, 9:40 a.m. Come hang out if you can. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy, Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Shout out to Captain, Reflect, and Jordan. Appreciate the three of you very, very much. And I am out. Okay.